Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Lothian, Maryland, what appears to be a bloody and terrible murder-suicide turns mysterious when detectives learn about a love triangle, pet snakes, and some very incriminating phone calls. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Ah, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, again and again. God, do we have another weird one for you today.
Oh, boy.
Anytime anybody's involved in any sort of non-dog cat pets, for some reason there's weirdness that we know is going to happen here.
Specifically, anything flying or slithering. It's not
flying,
good.
anything with feathers or scales. We're going to really keep a close eye on anybody with those kind of pets. We will get to that. Before we do, very quickly, just want to say thank you, first of all, for everything you do for us. Thank you for the virtual live show, for showing up. Thank you for all that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com to get your tickets for live shows throughout the rest of the year. That's right. If you're listening to this immediately upon release, early release, then you can still get in for Pittsburgh and Detroit on May 5th and 6th.
You better hurry.
The 5th, get in there. If you're listening to this when it normally comes out, we had a great time in Detroit and Pittsburgh. Thank you to everyone for showing up. Get your tickets for the next round of a lot of shows sold out over the summer.
Right.
There will be more tickets for Salt Lake City, but then after that, the next one with tickets is Chicago, August the 12th. Chicago comes strong. It's going to be our biggest show ever.
Yeah.
Represent Chicago. We cannot wait to do that. That's shutupandgivememurder.com. New merchandise up there as well. Definitely head over to patreon.com/CrimeInSports and get all of your bonus episodes. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get the entire back catalog of bonus stuff. It's a couple hundred episodes and new episodes every other week. 2 new ones, 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder, and you get them both for obviously all included. This week, what you're going to get for crime and sports, we're going to talk about Disco Demolition Night, which was at a baseball game in 1979. The White Sox decided it was a good idea that between games of a doubleheader, they'd have everybody bring all their disco albums and 8-tracks, and they'd pile them up on the field and blow them up. What ended up happening was fires and riots, as you can imagine, and we'll talk all about that. It's an amazing story. It's incredible. It's so incredible. Then, for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about one of the weirdest things ever. Sherry Papini. If you don't know who she is, Papini. She faked her own kidnapping.
It's a kooky dame.
We have no idea why. And what she did makes no sense, what she was doing during it. It's the most senseless thing ever, and the way she stuck to a lie till the bitter end is just, it's remarkable. I've never seen anything like it before. We'll talk all about her interrogation and everything. Patreon.com/crime and sports, that is. And you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show, of course, where Jimmie will butcher your name while he tries with all of his might to get it correct. So that said, also keep an eye out here. It'll be out in the next month at some point. We promise this month it will be out. Your Stupid Opinions, our new show about opinions of everything. You hear us do reviews on this show. Well, the reviews of everything like we've done on Patreon episodes are amazing. Anything from an Arby's in Salt Lake City to a cross-stitching class in Hoboken, New Jersey. We're going to talk all about reviews of these things. The things people get angry about are amazing, and you're going to love it. So Your Stupid Opinions is coming out. That said,
people say wild shit when it's anonymous. It's
man,
great.
It is crazy. Even when they put their name on it and their picture, them with their kids and like a fish, everything. So that said, disclaimer time. This is a comedy show. We're comedians. There will be jokes, but the story is 100% real. We're not making anything up so it's funnier or more interesting. We don't have to. So the world is crazy enough without any embellishment at all here. What we don't do, though, what we go out of our way not to do is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes,
but
we're not scumbags, and that's how that works. So that's the deal. There's nothing funny about someone being dismembered, obviously, but the idea of I bet if I dismember this person, it'd be easier to get away with this crazy, stupid murder plot because my pet birds someone was trying to steal. That's crazy. We'll make fun of all of that kind of thing. As if you've listened to the show a lot, you know that for some reason exotic birds come up quite often. So that said, yes, that's how we do things. If that sounds good to you, awesome. Going to be a crazy show, obviously, and a wild story. If you think true crime and comedy should never ever go together, I don't know. Maybe we're not for you. Maybe give it a shot. Maybe you see if you like it. I have no idea. So I don't know what you're into, but maybe it's us. We'll find out. For the rest of you, though, that want to hear a crazy story as usual, I think it's time, what do you say, to sit back? Let's clear the lungs, everybody. Take a deep breath, arms to the sky, and let's shout, Shut up and give me murder! Let's do this, Jimmie. Let's go on a trip, shall we?
All right.
All right, everybody hop on board here. We're going to Lothian. Lothian, is that what we ended up hearing? Lothian, Maryland.
That's where we settled.
That's where we settled. Before we went on here, by the way, because the thing that people message us about the most isn't oh, you made jokes, while there was blood in the room and or whatever, there's murder going on. That people don't complain about that.
They don't give a shit.
They say, "How dare you?" mispronounce the name of a town no one's ever heard of. How dare you? So I don't know.
James?
So we look things up, and we looked up several. And I did it in front of Jimmie. So we're both on the same page. Several different pronunciation guides, and this is what we heard on all of them. So if we're wrong, hats off, a big curtsy and an apology. I don't know what more you want from me.
Lothian.
Bend over, kick me right in the ass, and we're both bent over, so kick us in the ass. It doesn't matter. Lothian, Maryland. Yep. It is in the central. Maryland, as we said, is made up of 3 panhandles.
It's a very strange-shaped state.
This is in the central panhandle, the middle one here, not the east-west one there in the west, and not the other one by the water there. So it's about 50 minutes to Baltimore.
Okay.
About 28 minutes, 30 minutes to Annapolis.
Oh.
And it's also driving distance to D.C., so it's a suburb of multiple cities.
Sure.
It's about an hour and 5 minutes to Leonardtown, which was our last episode, which was insane. That was the episode 336, The General Secrets. Remember the general who had that guy? And that was a wild one. So this is in Anne Arundel County, which, if you've ever watched The Wire, you'll hear that a lot when they're talking about the county. There's Baltimore County and there's Anne Arundel County. It's like, oh, way out in Anne Arundel. It's like that's
way out there.
Out in the sticks there. So the county itself was named after Lady Anne Arundel, which I always you just hear them say it, so I didn't know if it was Anne Arundel as like one word. You know what I mean? That's what I always thought it was Anne Arundel.
Annapolis is one word.
Yeah, it's not Annapolis. It's whereas this is Anne Arundel, which is fucking crazy.
I guess that Anne Arundel lady is Anna Rundle. That's her name?
It's not Annapolis. Annapolis. No, this is Anne Arundel. So she's the daughter of Thomas Arundel, of course, the first Baron Arundel of Wardour. Obviously, we didn't know that. So I hate when people give information that obviously everyone knows. You know what I mean? Like Jeffrey Dahmer was a murderer. Clearly, yeah, we get it. We know that already. We all know the Baron of Wardour. Obviously,
sounds made up.
It does. They're members of an ancient family of Arundels in Cornwall, England. She married Cecilius Calvert. He is second Lord Baltimore. And the first Lord Proprietor of the county.
There was a Lord Baltimore?
Of the colony, I mean, of Maryland. Yes, there was Lord Baltimore. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And this was when it was all English controlled. We're talking 1605 to 1775 that guy lived. They were married in an arranged marriage in 1627. So that's who it's named after.
He didn't behead her on their wedding night or some shit?
No, not even. You'd expect that, but no. So that's who it's named after. Some
upper crusty thing that I can't even fathom it.
Some powder-faced, 8-layer wearing, corseted old twat is what it's named after. So that's what we have. In 1997, the U.S. Postal Service abandons its Lothian post office.
Oh, they're done with it.
This place is like abandoned by everybody. It's really? Such a weird, because there's enough people here where you're like, there's a population. You could have like a town, but they're just like, screw those people out there.
It's 28 minutes from a city.
It's really weird. They replaced it with a larger post office in Wazen's Corner, which is 6 miles away.
What sounds more out in the middle of nowhere? Wazen's Corner?
Wazen's Corner. Out there in Wazen's Corner. You know Farmer Wazen? Well, it's on the corner of his 2 pieces of property. You go out to the old barn and make a left where the silo used to be.
Wazen's Corner. Used to be. It's so far away.
Neighbors were pissed off. People around there were mad. People said it's inconvenient. They have to go all the way over there. Many feared the move would rob Lothian of the main thing that elevated it above other small towns in southern Maryland, and that was their post office.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's our P.O. boxes.
Holy shit. Now I have to drive 7 extra minutes to see my P.O. box. God damn it. They said, take the post office away, and there's not much left to Lothian.
Lothian is depressing as fuck.
A resident for more than 30 years, Dick Fries, I swear to God, like French fries, Fries, Dick Fries. Let me get an order of them Dick Fries, will you?
That's the most disgusting menu item.
My God, Jesus Christ.
They're just steak fries, real stacked up
Come on,
tall
man.
In the box.
Arby's, I know you make some weird stuff, but Jesus Christ. I know you have the meats, but that's enough. I don't want
Dick
that
fries
one.
and a roast beef sandwich, please. I'm going to make them 5.
We get 2 beef and cheddars and a large dick fry. Yeah. Wait, you know what? Make that 2. You gonna, kids, you gonna eat all my dick fries? Yeah, they're going to eat all my dick fries, so let me get more dick fries.
Let me get dick fries and a beef and cheddar. I'm going to make a food baby.
Oh, it's going to be amazing, boy. That keeps the beef and cheddars together in there, see. He said, Dick Fries said, I can't believe that's this man's name. And
sir,
the guy, I wonder if it's not his name, and the reporter was just talking to people, and he was, what's your name? And he's like, Dick Fries. Fries, like French fries, but with dicks instead.
With dicks instead. This poor fucking guy.
He's old too. He's been there for 30 years. He said,
poor bastard.
He might be 30. Who knows?
Yeah.
He said it's a very sharp loss of identity for those of us who live in the area. Imagine taking it to your pride because the post office moves 6 miles away. Man, that hurts. It stings.
They're stripping me of my post office.
Oh.
Now I'm just Dick Fries.
Oh, man, it's one thing when the Papa John's moved, but when the post office is gone, now what do we have? We have nothing. So they realized that it would the reason they moved it is rather than building a new post office, because there was the population in this area was growing and the post office was too small, so they knew they were going to outgrow it soon, so they just moved it to a bigger facility rather than building or adding on to it. So one person here, this is a postal service spokeswoman, said, we're often torn between preserving a beloved center of a community and serving customers. What are you people doing at the post office?
Right.
That it's a center of
sense of community
where you're gathering. How long are you there for? Go in, get your shit, drop off whatever you're doing, and leave. How long?
Get the fuck out.
How long are you just hanging out in the post? I'm just having a cup of coffee, hanging out by the priority sleeves. Like, what are we doing?
Hanging out at that half door.
Yeah. They go on to say that the area in Whisman's Corner is a good choice for a post office because it's busy around this area. They said Lothian, besides the post office, has 2 schools, a Texaco and an Amco station.
Oh, both.
Those are both gas stations, both with food shops, by the way, so you can get yourself a Subway. And a couple of churches and a doctor's office. That's all that's in Lothian. That's it.
Jesus
in 97.
Christ, it's bleak.
Now, on the other hand, Whisman's Corner, this place is booming. They have, this is a quote from an article, quote, Whisman's Corner has a sprawling trailer park. A sprawling. They want to put that right up front on the flag? You're going to put that?
You're going to lead with that.
Yeah, that's wow, okay.
Oh, boy.
You don't bury the lead. Has a sprawling trailer park, a Texaco, a bingo parlor. My bingo parlor. This place is practically fucking Vegas. A bar, a hardware store, a bank, a dash-in grocery store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and the creme de la creme sitting atop the Golden Mountain, the Taco Bell. So... obviously, that's a better place to put the post office than this other place.
Thriving capitalistic society around here.
Thriving there. Reviews here. There's no reviews for Lothian or whatever the fuck it is. So these are the Anne Arundel County reviews because they can be just as good. Okay, 5 stars. Anne Arundel is great. Sounds like she's reviewing an escort.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Top notch. Ask for Anne. I would like to see more job opportunities given to the locals. Anne Arundel is great. That's the second time he said that. Okay.
I'm starting to not believe you, friend.
I would like to see more job opportunities given to locals. Anne Arundel is great. I would like to see. He goes on to repeat this pattern 7 times.
Is that right?
5 stars. I don't know what that person's doing. I don't know if they're broken or if they're trying to make a point.
Feels like somebody needs medical attention.
Like just a pop to the side of the head, like an old TV to fix it. I think his vertical hold's a little off is the problem. He needs just a pop like an old, your grandfather's TV, you know.
Just the second dial.
Yeah, do that. Is that working? UHF doing anything? No. 4 stars. Fix the damn roads. That's first sentence. Too many potholes, needs more street lights in certain areas to make them safer at night. County parks need upgraded play equipment. Parking lots need repaved.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't sound like 4 stars. They said nothing good about it at all.
We just need a lot of asphalt.
A lot of trucks with guys in hot tar on it. 4 stars. I think it's a nice, quiet suburban area. However, it could have a little more racial diversity and could be a little more cost-friendly.
Okay.
It's expensive here, as we'll talk about. 3 stars. It's a nice place, but the people are jerks.
Oh,
bunch of jerk faces. There isn't much to do, and the downtown area is extremely cramped and not worth the trip. However, it is pretty safe and not a bad place to raise a family. Lots of options for schooling, and the bay is very accessible. Okay. 3 stars. This is the whole review. Quote, I don't mind the area. Which is, you know what? If you had a key next to the reviews, like 5 stars means it's the best. 4 stars means I love it. 3 stars means I don't mind it.
I don't mind the area.
1 stars means, I
mind the area.
I've been stabbed 8 times in the last year. I mind it. 2 stars is the next one. I have been to 1 local restaurant. Well, you might as well review the whole town then.
You tell us everything about this one place.
It was a Tex-Mex style restaurant, and it was by far the worst Tex-Mex I have ever had.
In Maryland? Wow.
Yeah, in rural Maryland. I'm surprised at that. One thing you'd expect is a lot of Texans and Mexicans in rural Maryland. So, no. Jesus. 1 star is the next review. 1 star. Biking is not easy to do on roads around here.
Okay, so
that's all.
We know the roads suck.
These are 1-issue voters here. I want to bike somewhere. I want good Tex-Mex. I don't mind it. It's easy going. People here, population 6,939 people. There seems like too many to have it sound like it's like,
that's a lot of folks. Yeah,
it really sounds like it's in the middle of nowhere. Way more females than males. 54%, over 54% female.
Right.
All the 45 to 74-year-old demographics are high, so it's all a lot of that too, because the median age is 41 and a half, which is a little over the normal. More married population. Divorce rate's about the same. Widow rate's a little higher, but you have more older people, so that makes sense. Racial breakdown in this town: 72.5% white. 17.4% black, 0.8% Asian, okay, 0.5% Native American, which is actually right around the national average. The whole population in the country is 0.7%, which I didn't think Maryland was a big hotbed for.
Well, listen, they got the Washington Commanders.
There you go. So 6.3% Hispanic. Religion here, 39% religious here, and it's spread around. Okay, but the most are going to be Catholics. 18.7% Catholics. As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the Mid-Atlantic region.
Of Maryland.
Of Maryland, right there up by the bay, where there's blue crabs.
Right there near Chesapeake.
Right in that general region area where Frank Sabatka once roamed, in there. 0.2% Jewish. So damn it, we don't get to sing here. Last election, the 55.8% of people in Anne Arundel County voted Democratic, 41.3% voted Republican, 2.9% voted Independent. The unemployment here is a little bit lower than the national average, which it should be. You're between 2 major cities and Annapolis too. You should be able to find something in that triangle. Median household income here is high because it's a suburb of places. $71,912, which is
not bad.
Way high. Cost of living also high. 100 being regular average. Here it's 128. So real high. Median home cost, that's the high one. $544,200.
Oh my
God. Real high. Yeah, that's up there. So if
$550 for a house.
For a house. Well, you know what? If you're in the market for one, we can help you, because we have for you the Lothian, Maryland Real Estate Report. All right, your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,550, which is above the national average,
that's a bit high,
but not twice as much as the national average, to buy a place. Here we go. Here's a place. This is your affordable option, okay? 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 980 square feet. Not going to lie to you, it's a trailer. It is a trailer. There's dents in the outside of it.
Oh, my.
They did do a good job of it. Doesn't look like it's going to roll away anytime soon. There's like a porch and some stuff around it. It looks like the park is not it looks relatively decent,
it's
I
clean,
suppose.
Yeah. Your house just needs some Bondo.
Yeah, there's like 8 cars in the driveway, so apparently it's spacious in there. I'm not sure. But yeah, there you go. There's no interior pictures, which I don't know what that says. That tells you a lot. $50,000 for that, though.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I don't think it comes with the land, though, probably either.
Right.
You're
Probably not all 8 cars either.
Fee. And I don't think the cars come with it at all. That wasn't in the listing. Next up, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,881 square feet. So this is kind of your nice couple-kid family home here. Was built in 1955, and then clearly somebody did a complete redesign in 1976 and then said, perfect. Never touch it again. Keep it like this. You know what?
If you've ever remodeled a house, as soon as you're done, you go, never again.
Never again. Keep it nice. Keep the linoleum clean is what they said back then.
Do not fuck that up. I'm not doing it again.
Do not do it. This house, though, $360,000 for this time capsule. So
is that right?
It's $200,000 cheaper than the average of what it should be, but you're going to have to. I mean, you got to strip this thing unless you want to live like the Brady Bunch. You're going to have to strip it down here. A lot of avocado in there. So here, this is just a big house, just a big kind of plunked down in a nice neighborhood. 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 5,892 feet.
That is a house.
It's a big goddamn house. It's just kind of your standard big giant house that a lot of room to move around. $1,149,000 for that thing.
Oh, you're paying for it.
You're going to pay out the ass for that. So
I realized recently I am stuck in 2008's housing crisis pricing in my head.
Yeah,
I see houses that are worth that, and I'm like, no.
What is that?
How is that?
Fuck, what are you talking about? Things to do here, not much. The Anne Arundel County Fair.
Yeah,
you can do that here. Where they have, at the fairgrounds, what they're going to have here. I'm not going to talk about all the fair things. I will talk about Bull Ride Mania is coming.
Oh, Mania.
Bull Ride Mania, brother. That's right. This Sunday at Bull Ride Mania, I'm going to ride a bull till I completely break his spirit and he won't even fuck cows anymore. Oh, that's right, brother. June 10th, that was going on. It's going on.
What makes it
you
Mania?
Can still make it. Because they're fucking crazy for bull riding. What makes WrestleMania? They're crazy for it. A lot of flexing and things like that.
A lot of posing.
Flexing. It says, get ready for a wild ride at the Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds. Rodeo begins at 7.
Oh.
But gates open at 5.
Oh, come in 2 hours early.
That's what they do for baseball, so you can watch batting practice. Is there like a bull practice where guys are getting just bucked off?
They must kick those bulls in the nuts for 2 hours before they...
Come on now, piss them off.
Strap a man on it.
That one don't look pissed off enough. They say there's beer concession stands, food vendors. There's going to be several different events, obviously.
Okay.
Breakaway roping.
Oh, okay.
You got to be good at that. Bull riding, clearly. That's fucking bull ride mania, obviously, brother. That's what you got.
Better be. I show up to bull ride mania.
There's no bull riding?
Bull riding? What the fuck is this?
I will riot in that place. I'll go crazy like a bull in a china shop, buddy. You have no idea. There's going to be barrel racing, of course.
Yeah.
Got to have that. And then finally, obviously, it's what kind of event would it be? What kind of a mania would it be without mutton busting going on?
Yeah. Gotta put the kids on them.
Do some mutton busting. Tickets for this insane event, $20 for adults.
Jesus.
Kids age 6 to 15, $10.
Wait, okay.
6 to 15. Then kids 5 and under are free. They're like, they don't even care what's going on.
For 1 year of your life, we'll charge you half price.
That's it. Yeah. They're just picking gum off the bottom of the bleachers. They don't give a shit. Fucking 4-year-old. And then service members with ID get it for $18. So there's that. So, yeah. And then there's also the Annapolis Irish Festival.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing. The Annapolis Irish Festival here. They're excited to announce it. It's a family event with great music, activities, good food and drink, obviously. Yeah, clearly. No pets allowed in capital letters.
Not a one of them.
Keep them out. We're going to be drunk and tripping over them. They have an axe throwing event, Irish dancers, Gaelic mishap is one fucking thing.
I don't know a band?
I don't know. It sounds like a porn.
Yeah, it does.
Gaelic mishap, and it's got two guys on the front, like redheaded guys with big beers in their hand.
That's what Irish people call their kids.
Hey, that's my Gaelic mishap. The O'Grady Quinlan Academy of Irish Dance will be there. Then there'll be a redhead contest.
Okay.
Who's got the reddest hair? More Scottish, but yeah.
I want to hear nothing more about redheaded people thinking that they're being discriminated against.
Go win the contest.
You have your own contest.
Go win the contest.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then there is the Maple Academy of Irish Dance, and then Hold Fast. I guess that's a band there at the end there. Yeah. So get out there, you Irish and you Tex-Mex Irish people. Hit the bull ride mania, do that. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here. Property crime, right about average.
Oh, that's great.
So that's nice. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 20% high. So
really
high, but not as high probably as, like, West Baltimore or somewhere like that. So, but it's high.
It's high like their income.
A little bit high. High like the income. That's right. Yeah. So that said, let's certainly talk about a murder, shall we? Or more than one murder here in this particular case, and some weird stuff going on. Okay. We're going to jump right into this and come in hot, okay? Let's talk, first of all, quickly about a man named Anthony J. Anastasi, Anastasi.
Okay.
So Anthony J. Anastasi Jr., this guy is. So, okay. He is born in 1975.
Okay.
This man here, he's one of 4 siblings. Later on, he's going to be close with his family because his father's going to live like down the street from him. So that's helpful. He's a contractor. Remodeling is his specialty, doing remodeling type shit. And also a motorcycle enthusiast, you could say.
Okay. Yeah.
Into bikes, and
he's that guy.
Hangs out with groups of bikers and shit like that. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out about Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
He's got a wife, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, get over here. What the fuck are you doing? Auntie's calling me. I got to go now. Auntie's calling me. What do you want from me? I got to go.
Anthony. Perfect.
Anne and Anthony. Yeah, Anthony and Anne. Anastasi. So she's Anne Anastasi. That's her fucking name. Anne Anastasi, which is like Anne Arundel or Anne Appolis. It's
right.
And they live in Anne Arundel County. This is too much.
Too much.
Anne Anastasi and Anthony Anastasi.
And their neighbor Dick
Jr.
Fries.
And their neighbor Dickie Fries over here. Hey, Dickie Fries, what are you doing? Come over Sunday for dinner, will you? No, don't bring anything. Don't bring anything. Hey, he brings weird shit over here. Let me
Everything's phallic.
I don't want
every meal. There's a dick on the table.
It's just he brings everything. It's just he brings in a big baguette loaf thing. It looks like, but it's something else. It's not a baguette. It's just something phallic.
It's a baguette loaf that's carved like a dick.
He carves it. He whittles it like wood, except it comes out like a veiny penis. I don't understand how he does it.
I don't get the jokes.
Right on the crust, but whatever. Hey, yo, Anne-Marie. So Anne is born in 1973, so she's 2 years older than him.
Oh.
She is from Montgomery County, Maryland. That's where her family was from here. She later on will be a home health aide, and then she'll be studying for her certification as we go on later on to be a nurse. Yeah, or to be something. I don't know.
Whatever
something
the step is between there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's a registered nurse or an fucking
LPN, CNA, LBJ,
just a plain old BJ. I have no idea. What's going on here. No clue.
There are a lot of different ones. You're
a
right.
CIA, a DEA. I'm not sure what she's going for here. So they were married in 1997. So reasonably young here. They're going to have a few kids, 5 to be exact.
Wow.
They're going to pump those out in the next 10 years pretty quickly. Going to get rid of those. But on October 5th, 2015, we're going to fast forward to then. Okay. Okay. So he's 40, she's 42. Okay. And it's October 5th, 2015. And this particular day, the 13-year-old daughter that they have, and I'm not going to give her name, and you'll understand why as this goes on. Her name's in the court documents, but it doesn't seem like they really. Yeah. You'll understand at the end what I'm talking about. So anyway, she stays home from school that day. I'm going to call her 13 rather than 11 for like Stranger Things. I'm just going to call her 13. So 13 stayed home that day. She called in. Her mom called her in sick. Okay. Then at 12:57 p.m.
Noon, 1
o'clock. It's afternoon. Mom here, Anastasia. Jesus Christ, this is going to be difficult all day. Anastasia of Anne Arundel County.
Yes.
She calls 911.
Oh.
Calls 911, and the deal is she gives a little background. Not right away, but to give you some background. She said, I spent the day taking the kids to the dentist, then going to the grocery store to go shopping, and I'm supposed to be leaving to take my husband to a doctor's appointment right now.
Oh, boy.
Okay. She said, that her husband had been up, and then she got the 5 children off to school. They're all imagine having 5 school-age children.
No.
Holy shit.
I refuse to even imagine it.
All in that window, man.
Oh,
holy
God.
Shit. The different needs they have is insane.
If you have your kids all in the 10-year period, that means you have children from 8 to 18.
Yeah,
that's
what they have.
Nuts.
It's 7 to 17 at this point.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
No.
No, that's crazy.
No. That 17-year-old is going to fucking have his own car, and you're helping, motherfucker.
You move out. There's too many of you. 17, good enough.
Get out.
God, I'm a junior in high school. Don't care. World's tough, okay? There's 4 more.
Figure it out, motherfucker. I got too many of you.
I'm trying to figure it out. You can do the same. I don't know what to tell you.
You're obsolete.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got the newer model here. So, she then takes her daughter, one of her, not 13, her other daughter, to a dentist appointment and to school. She says she returned home, where 13 was homesick from school, and then she and 13 went to the grocery store.
Okay.
I presume to get Eggo waffles. So
and chicken noodle.
And chicken noodles. So she's not that sick, apparently.
Right.
Clearly, if she's happy to go to the grocery store, she picked her up just to go there.
Uh-huh.
So Anne says she got home from the grocery store and she tried to wake up Anthony over here because he was napping in bed because he had a doctor's appointment. So she was not able to wake him up, and then she looked over and saw a handgun next to him.
Okay.
And she picked up the phone and called 911 right away. She grabbed her phone, her cell phone, calls 911. Oh, my God, there's something wrong here. Okay.
Is there blood?
Well, that's the thing. They say they're going to ask her all this. She says, quote, but he's not responding at all, and he's got his gun laying next to him in the bed. So that's a bad sign. 911 says, do you think he shot himself? And she said, I don't know. I didn't turn the lights on in the room.
Oh.
So okay. I get that it's dark in the room, but how many rooms in your house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, even with no lights on, curtains drawn, is it?
Yeah, you can't see anything.
You wouldn't see like blood on your bed sheets. You know what I'm saying?
How good are your blackout curtains, lady?
They are amazing. I would whatever hotels we go to needs to talk to this lady and find out what she's using, because none of them are as good as this.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So she doesn't turn the lights on, but she saw the gun somehow laying there. But
How do you not see blood, but you can see a gun?
I don't know. One little beam of light from the hallway shone off the
right on the gun,
gleaming and glittering off the gun here. So they said later, you could tell she's like calm on the 911 call, not frantic. She's just like, I don't know. I didn't turn the lights on in the room. It's very.
I'm not gonna look because I hear that fucks you up.
Yeah, it sounds gross. In case there's gross shit, I don't really want to know about it. So while she's on the phone, obviously they dispatch police to the scene because it might be something. They live on West Bayfront Road, which sounds lovely.
Yeah, sounds
lovely.
But they're miles from the bay.
They're nowhere near the bay, but that's fine. It sounds lovely. So they get there. The house is very nice too. It's a very nice looking house from the outside. When they get in there, they said it is just packed with shit. Yeah. Like everybody looks like they're all hoarders there. It seems like either that or it's just 5 kids and it's from 7 to 17 and nobody can keep an eye on a lid on this whole thing here. Now she's still on the phone with 911 when the officers arrive. Yeah, She's kept her on the whole time. So it's 630 West Bayfront Road in Lothian, whatever the fuck it is here. The police sergeant says it was just a very rural, very quiet neighborhood. Not a whole lot of activity down there. Okay. So they said this is not a place they usually get calls for any kind of, investigation. It's maybe an old person had a heart attack, that sort of shit. This isn't not a lot of police activity in this particular neighborhood. So they said they got there, and Anne leads them through the house because they said, can you show us to the bedroom where your husband is, and we'll take a look.
Yeah, where's the mess?
The sergeant said the bedroom was not clean or tidy. That was just how they lived.
Is that right?
Yeah. He said there were papers, books, movies, clothes, both dirty and clean on the floor, VHS tape stacked up everywhere, which you think by now, 2015. Come on. I mean, are they collectors of some particular?
Are they all Disney?
I don't know what's going. Yeah, those big, the big soft cushy cases.
My mom has every one of them.
I swear, as a kid, or not as a kid, but when my kids were kids, those big soft cushy cases they had there because they still had a few. You get the Disney VHSs for some reason still. Yeah, I always felt they were soft so the kids wouldn't kill each other with the cases. They could hit.
It's either that or they know the psychopaths that collect them and they get whipped through the house.
Maybe that too. Yeah, throwing them at their kids. Yeah. So, and on the bed they find Anthony's. They find him on the bed. He is shot in the temple. Oh. They find a 45 caliber pistol. Oh boy. Is just inches from his hand, which actually they go, okay, that physically
it's possible. Yeah.
Goes with a suicide because a lot of times the problem is people when they stage a suicide, it'll be a large caliber weapon. Right. And they'll have the fingers still wrapped all tight around it, with rigor and shit. And it's like, well, when you fire a large caliber weapon and then you lose control of your nervous system,
that shit goes everywhere.
It tends to pop out of your hand, or at least be like, partially out of your hand a lot of the times, depending on the angle, obviously. Yeah. But like if it's to the temple, that's the one that happens. So
and it's a 45. That gives very little room for error.
There's a lot of plenty of kick in that too. Plenty of kick here. So they said the home was not easily searched. It was not a tidy home. It was not an organized home. One of the police officers
take it
said.
easy.
They're just
Leave
ripping.
my house out of this.
I mean, Jesus, what are we talking about here? How
bad is it?
How bad could it be? They said, though, the stacked VHS cases, and also he had his Bible right next to the gun, too. So his gun and the Bible are right there.
Yeah, I mean,
these two things. That looks, right.
Looks like he had some thoughts, and then
he'll
never have thoughts again.
And the sergeant also said, we found a spent shell casing in the bedroom near Mr. Anastasi and the handgun that was next to him. Okay. Spent shell casing, Bible, gun about where it should be.
There it is.
Shot in the temple. The sergeant went on to say, quote, he was lying face up in the bed. There was a single gunshot wound we could tell had been fired at close range based on the burning to the skin that comes from a bullet coming out of a muzzle of a gun. But it definitely looks like a suicide by all accounts. So, and they asked Ann, well, how'd you stumble upon this scene?
Right.
And she said she found the body. I dropped my kid off at school, and I took a young one to the dentist. I took 13 grocery shopping, and, that's it. One of the cops said Ann was visibly upset. She was crying, shaking, and led the officers to the back bedroom. There didn't appear to be any signs of a struggle. The body was laying there calmly with a single gunshot wound and a .45 caliber handgun in close vicinity to the hand of the deceased body, which you would typically find on a suicide scene. Right. He did not have an exit wound.
Oh, it's really?
No exit wound. That's a thick skull on Anthony.
Yeah, that's a hard-headed man right there.
Should have been a boxer. If only he knew. If only he knew how tough his fucking skull was.
Could have been your NFL hero, James. Fullback, run him down, Anthony.
He could have done it, Anthony. Anthony, you could have been a role model, Anthony. But no. So this is a mess. This is one of those where you'd like just to see the scene. You'd almost like a time machine to go back and see what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? Like that'd be so much easier. Once time machines are invented, you can really solve crime.
We're
Imagine
gonna fix
that.
A lot. Yeah.
Where were you? Let's find out. Come on, asshole. And you take him in the time machine and go, nope, there you are right there. That's not where you said you were. Oh, look at you stab him. Look at that, you dumb fuck. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
We'll get OJ yet.
We will get him. I'm telling you. Swear to God. That would be the most fun of a time machine, I would think. Just to go back and catch people lying about shit. That'd be awesome. People always say, what a time machine. I'd go back and kill Hitler. Okay, well, we can't all go back and kill. I was talking about this with Sarah on a PS I Hate This Movie. We can't, if there was a time machine, the first thing would be 20 million people
rushing back.
Huddled around some
18 fucking 98.
Rushing back to like 1902 to huddle around a hut in Austria somewhere, going, bring us your baby. We're going to cut his little fucking head off. And I think that would have drawn international attention. It might have skewed things. So we have to pick one person to send back.
Yes, it's going to be a whole bunch of people running into each other going, what are you here for?
Yeah. We have to assign it to one person when time travel happens. Yeah. You know who that person is, Jimmy?
Who's that?
Jeffrey Dahmer. We go back to like 92, 93 when he's still alive. We go, Jeff, we got a lot to talk about. This is super weird, but come on. You know what? Weird is normal for you, so never mind. Come with me.
We're going to okay just this one.
Just this one. So we're going to say there's going to be a baby back there. Do your worst.
It's delicious.
Whatever you've ever had in mind I want you to run wild with it, Jeff. This is creative control.
Like veal.
Full creative control, Jeff. I mean, really, because I don't obviously condone
baby Parmigiana.
Yeah, that's it. I don't condone baby rape and cannibalism, but if there's one baby in history where I'd say, you know what,
I'm okay
Jeff?
with it. Yeah.
Take your pictures, put The Exorcist 3 on. I don't know, man. Try a new recipe. Do whatever you got to do, Jeff. Have a ball. And then we bring him back and put him like the day he gets his brains bashed in by a fucking by some other inmate. That's how you do it. Problem solved. Yay.
Too good.
I think he'd do it right. You know, if you told him no one's going to bother you, you're totally allowed to do this. No one's going to knock on the door. You have all the time you want. Have a ball. Make a baby zombie. I don't give a shit. Make a baby dick puppet. I don't care.
Give him Albert Fish's recipe.
That's it. Whatever you want to do.
Get after it, Jeff.
I think that would work a lot. But we don't have time machines, and we can't see how this guy shot himself.
You can really Salt Bay that baby if you want.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit.
We don't care. I'm telling you, Jeff. We want you to see a blank canvas is what we want you to see. And we want you to just paint a beautiful picture with it, Jeff. For the only time we're going to allow you to do this. On this cute little Austrian baby. So, anyway, she said, the one cop said she gets back home, her husband's motionless in bed, not responding. They said, well, you know, is this expected? Has he been threatening suicide or anything like that? She said he's been depressed lately. I mean, he has been depressed.
You never know.
They said she tells them that he's had numerous back surgeries and he's unable to work at the time. That'll do. That'll fuck with your psyche. Mm-hmm. Number one, back shit is the worst because you're just like, at some point you go, I don't even care anymore. Just kill me. This is terrible. I can't move. Numerous back surgeries might make you,
any sort of nerd issue will certainly make you contemplate horrible things.
Yeah, all that, and he's unable to work too, which is taking a
useless. Yeah,
you don't feel like you have any identity at that point, and you're not doing anything. So they go on to do this, and they ask her. They say, "Does anyone else live in the house?" We know, there's you, your kids, anybody else here? And she said, oh, yeah, my kids. This one's at school, that one's at school. 13 is in her room. This one's over here. And they said, oh, and there's someone else, actually, that lives here, too. She said there's a 25-year-old woman that lives in the house, too, and lives in our basement. She's like our friend that's like a boarder down in the basement there. Her name's Jacqueline Riggs. She lives down in the basement apartment. It's a finished basement. So, nice. She's not sitting down there with...
with a hot plate.
Just her next to the hot water heater with the furnace next to her. Drip sounds going on. Freddy Krueger lurking around the corner. None of that shit. Actually.
Six blankets.
Yeah, just all huddled up going, Jesus, it's dark down here. Just one lone fucking bare bulb dangling, swinging back and forth. No TV. She said, they said Jacqueline Riggs, she's a young woman here. We'll talk more about her in a little bit, but she's 25 years old. She seems kind of down on her luck from the way Anne describes her. Seems like from the quick overview they get that maybe she kind of latched on to Anthony as like a fatherly type figure type of thing. And that's kind of how Anne puts it. So they said, is she home now? And Anne says, I don't know. I haven't heard from her today. And, she's not one of the kids. I don't keep track of her. She lives her own life. She just lives in the basement.
Perhaps she heard a gunshot?
Maybe. So we'd like to talk to her. They said, she said, the last thing I heard of Jacqueline was last night. I heard her and Anthony shouting and fighting in the basement.
Okay.
Which is... You didn't investigate that?
You didn't ask Anthony, hey, what's up?
Your spouse is like arguing and fighting with your tenant in the basement loudly? That seems...
Shouting at a 25-year-old and you're just like, good night.
The fuck is going on down here? Put your head down the steps. Hey, what's up? What are we doing down there? Jesus Christ. The kids
got 5 kids up here.
Yeah, 13's trying to sleep for Christ's sake.
She's got a cold.
When she uses her powers, it drains her.
She's got a nosebleed.
She has to stay home now. She's going to have to stay home from school tomorrow. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So
have to drag a kid to the grocery store. You know how much of a fucking nightmare that is?
She doesn't want to be there. I don't want her to be there. It's a nightmare. So they said, okay, so that's the last you heard. So she said when he returned to the master bedroom, that's when he found Anne there after coming back from the fighting with Jacqueline in the basement. And Anne said that he was very gruff and very short with her when he popped back up in the bedroom after arguing with Jacqueline, and told her to take the cats out of the room and go sleep with the children in the other room there. Get out.
Mad at me?
I don't want to be bothered. Take your damn cats and go.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're the kind of cats that like attack your feet while you try to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody likes that. So
that is terrible.
That's the worst kind of cat. You're like, come on, anything but that. You can shit in the corner. I don't care, but don't do that.
I just threw up on the bed 10 minutes ago, and now you're going to bite my fucking feet?
Damn it. So police try to go down the staircase to the basement there. It's dark, and there's shit everywhere, like everywhere else in the house.
Yeah.
And the sergeant said, quote, when we first entered the basement, there was extremely loud, heavy metal music playing, which added for us an additional kind of eerie effect.
Yeah, and she's cool as shit.
Yeah, Jacqueline's badass, man.
Yeah.
Fucking rock on. So she's blasting metal music. It's weird that they didn't hear that
Upstairs.
otherwise. Yeah. Coming into an otherwise quiet house, I assume like she didn't have TV going on while they're while they're doing a suicide investigation. So it's odd that they didn't hear like blasting fucking Sepultura coming from the basement. You'd think they would they would notice that. So whatever. They said in the center of the room was horror, is what they said. They said here is a Jesus Christ. They said there's a blood-soaked carpet, and there is Jacqueline on the floor, as described by the sergeant, quote, stabbed multiple times all about her body. Torso, head, neck, arms, hands, legs even.
Oh, my.
Just butchered is the way he described her. That we'll find out it's 42 wounds in all.
Jesus.
20 good puncture stabbings and 22 slashings and lighter stabbings. This is a brutal attack.
Sustained torture and then literally dispatching.
That is wild. The sergeant said, quote, there was blood on the walls, blood on the floor, blood on the bed. It was clear that Jacqueline Riggs had fought her attacker based on defensive wounds to her hands and arms. The crime scene downstairs was extremely brutal.
Yeah.
This was, to walk into this and to have the music bumping too has got to be like, Jesus, this is turn the fucking music off so I can hear blood right now. This is.
What was that, Saving Abel? Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I need to figure this out.
This is crazy. So this is it's a horrible scene. They said there was just blood on the ceiling. It's everywhere, and she is just slashed up. So they're trying to note evidence now because before they're like, okay, suicide, but now they're like, what the fuck happened down here? Now we have to start looking at entrances. Is there preserving crime scene type shit here?
Right.
So the outside door, because the basement has its own entrance, the outside door is locked. So there's that. The windows down there are screwed shut, so no one can break in.
So it's from the inside the house.
So the room, they said, is strewn with piles of overturned trash, is the way they described it.
Okay.
Which is interesting. The sergeant said it looked like perhaps he had stabbed her in the basement, then gone upstairs. All indications were showing us a murder-suicide. Okay. Looks pretty obvious. Stabbed her up, went upstairs, and said, fine. If they were fighting the night before, that makes sense. Now, they said, quote, when officers discovered Jackie dead in the basement and told Anne about it, Anne was very surprised. She's like, oh, my God. She said she had not seen Jacqueline today and didn't know if she was home and didn't know what was going on. So she didn't know. Searching around the residence, and especially around Jacqueline, because they feel like it's, that's the crime scene, more or less.
That's where it's at, yeah.
They were not able to locate a knife or any kind of edged weapon they believed was used to kill her, though. So they're like, okay, well, where the fuck?
Stabbable.
From the basement to the upstairs bedroom, where do you get rid of this knife?
Where'd
You
it
know what
go?
I mean? Where you can't flush a knife down the toilet.
You can't eat that.
Yeah, you can't eat it. You can't. there's nothing. No, you can't put it down the garbage disposal. Right. There's nothing you can do with it.
It's here somewhere.
It's here somewhere. So they said there's no sign of forced entry to the residence or of any kind of intruder entering the residence. They said this looks pretty clear, murder-suicide. So let's find out if that's what it is. A little bit of history now, because we'll talk about this. Back when we told you Anne-Marie and Anthony, Anne-Marie and Anthony, they got married in 97.
What if this town is called Lothian?
Lothian. Lothian Arundel. Lothian Arundel. Anne-Marie Anastasi. So they got married in 97, had their first kid in 97, and then by 98, I think she was pregnant again. They were pumping the kids out pretty quick.
Lord. Yeah.
At that time, they were, they lived in Anne Arundel County in a town called Churchton back then. Later on, they'll move to Michigan and live there for years, as we'll talk about. But while they lived at a 2-story home in a quiet street, they ran a business out of that place. You know what that business was called, Jimmy?
Oh, God. Dear fuck.
If I gave you every guess till the history of time, you'd never guess what their business was called.
Was it Tupperware?
It is called Snakes Are Us.
Okay. There are those people.
Snakes Are Us.
Yeah.
They
breed. They got that name.
They breed snakes for online sales in 98. So they're like, there's this thing called the internet. Yeah. Now, people have been telling me you could do like stocks and bonds and porn and things like that on it. I think we should sell snakes.
I want to jerk off a snake.
I think maybe some people, maybe it's for sexual purposes, whatever reason they're buying them for. I feel like a lot of people are going to want to buy my snakes online. So they had it like a registered corporate business and everything. They're breeding snakes. Eventually, this business will fold.
Okay.
You know, it's a slippery business.
And PetSmart exists.
Yeah, it's a tough to find the snake guy.
There are snake places.
Snakes are us. I just see him holding a handful of snakes in either hand in the picture on the fucking front of the website. I got lots of snakes. So, Anthony over here, I got snakes for you. Come over here. Let me show you what I got.
Ridiculous.
So, they had that. That business folds. Now, when this all started and the beginning of their relationship happened, Anne had an over $1 million trust fund. For her. So she had $1 million in the bank here, which they promptly spent.
Blew through it.
Snake food must be pricey, but
they're mice, James. They're very expensive.
They're very expensive. So they spent it all. And apparently Anthony was always asking her to go to her family for more money all the time. Because her family had money.
Yeah, but you went through $1 million.
Well, we need more now. We have 5 kids. Maybe they'll feel bad for us. You know how it goes.
Yeah, that's only $200,000 a piece. It's more expensive than that to raise a kid.
Fuck yeah. No shit. Yeah, you could all the kids together. So she said, though, also when she would get more money from the family, he would spend it on shit that he liked to buy, like TVs or Harleys. So
VHS tapes.
Or tons of VHS tapes to line his walls with. So they had a lot of problems, and we'll talk about many of them here. And some of them are documented and some of them aren't. So one time, he locked her out in a snowstorm. For some reason, I don't know what that
an option.
I never thought of that before, but he just told her to get out and then lock the door and wouldn't let her back in a snowstorm, which seems crazy.
Like attempted murder.
That's what I mean. That's not just like a prank or like being a dick. That's someone's going to die out here. Come on, I didn't bring my coat. Like that's
right. She's either going to catch cold or worse.
Yeah. Another time they had kind of a fight and she left and then he wouldn't let her come back home after that. Another time she had gone to Florida, or he told her to go to Florida. That's conflicting which one it is. Either way, she's in Florida. And apparently she wanted to come back, and he gathered all the children together to have a vote on whether mom should be allowed to come home or not.
We're surviving mom.
Come on, kids. We're voting mom off the island tonight.
What the fuck?
Let's go, 13. What do we got? What do you think? What's your vote?
This is What?
I pictured a 4-year-old giving a thumbs down with a big frown on her face. Meh.
She gets that organic mac and cheese. That shit's garbage.
Get Kraft, bitch.
None of this Annie's bullshit.
Yeah, healthy my ass. I want sodium.
For a man who doesn't have $1 million, he sure does have a lot of gall.
He really does. Imagine that gathering, though. Hey, kids, come in the living room.
We're gonna see if Mom deserves to come back with all of her money.
They skip in there, two little sisters talking to each other, going, "You think we're getting a puppy? Maybe." And then they go, "Okay, we're going to take a vote today. You're going to have a say in something. Yay, that sounds great." What I need you to vote on, maybe he slips something innocuous in first.
Yeah.
Like, are we having pizza or McDonald's for dinner tonight? Come on, kids, who votes for McDonald's? And the next one, are we allowing Mommy to come back home and live, or are we telling her she has to stay in Florida? Who's putting their hands up? Who wants Mommy back?
Also, keep in mind, if we have pizza tonight, we're having McDonald's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have pizza the night after that.
So, did I mention? I don't know how to cook, so there's that. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Now all you want Mom back, don't you?
What do you say?
You fucking Benedict Arnolds.
No, little Tommy, we're not having dick fries again. We had dick fries the other night. It's enough dick fries for you. This kid can't get enough dick fries.
Loves dick fries.
Loves dick fries.
Just sucks the salt off him, this kid.
He just leaves it sucks everything off him. Leaves him just a potato.
Soggy potato on the corner of the plate.
Oh, man. So apparently the children voted yay on that one because she ended up coming back at some point.
Yeah.
I guess. So 5 children in all. First one born, like we said, 97, 98 area. 2002 is when 13 was born.
Yeah.
She's 13 in 2015. 2008, they have another kid. That's the youngest, the 7-year-old. Yeah. So from 7 to 17, they got them.
Unbelievable.
All lined up here. Now, enter a young man into the picture.
Okay.
Gabriel Ezekiel Struss.
Yeah.
Gabriel Ezekiel Struss. That sounds like we're going to tell
biblical. Yeah.
It's like biblical and like a character in a Mark Twain story.
Yeah.
Because it's got like a weird Gabriel Ezekiel Struss or like a Dr. Seuss story.
Yeah.
He's born in 1997, so he's 18 in 2015. He has had a fucked up life, this kid.
Really?
Yeah, he began having a lot of trouble. He was basically, his mother's a drug addict and drug him around the streets all the time. He's like he's like Dookie, basically.
Jesus.
Like, he's just got a lot of problems. He's been drug all around, and he's been on the streets.
Heartbreaking story.
Yeah, well, since he was 7, he was,
Jesus.
doing this, or until he was 7. They said he didn't have the best upbringing, kind of had to raise himself because mom was a drug addict, and they said he needed emotional comfort, and this family would give him that sometimes.
Yeah.
Him and his brother get adopted by another family when they're elementary school aged, and this Struss ended up being good at music and attended a magnet performing arts program at Broadneck High School.
Oh.
So as we know from, if you've ever heard anything about Serial and the, Heyman Lee case and all that kind of shit, all about magnet programs and how that works, kind of a separate program inside of a school. So he's in that program. But that didn't work out. He was enrolled at the Phoenix Academy in Annapolis. I don't know what the Phoenix Academy is, but it was in Annapolis. He left, though, after a while there and didn't end up graduating from high school.
Oh, boy.
And he ended up kind of turning his back on his adopted family after a while and staying just with his grandfather who lived nearby. Who, if his grandfather raised his parents who had him on the street when he was 7, then is that a good idea? Maybe not.
Probably not. No.
Maybe. Who knows?
He may have figured it out between then and now.
We hope so. Or, some kids, it doesn't matter how you raise them. They just go off on their own. There's always, if you have 7 kids, one of them will be nuts. I mean, there's just no doubt. One of them will be a criminal or a drug addict or something that you weren't dreaming about when they were born.
There is one that will be the least successful. Has to be.
Has to be. Has to happen. So 2015 here, they this is when we'll talk about 13 a little bit here. She's described by everybody as a troubled girl.
Oh.
Everybody says she's troubled, has a lot of trouble. By 13, she was already attending an alternative school. She's already been through the ringer and mill and out of regular
13.
schools by 13.
She can't hack middle school.
Do you remember the girls who were 13 and going to those alternative schools?
Yeah.
That was a different type of chick, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The boys, because I'm a boy, I guess, I knew what they were about, but the girls were like, damn, there's like 4 of them, 700 boys and 6 girls in the school. You're like, oh, shit.
They're the toughest people here.
Yeah, they're tough.
Yeah.
She was enrolled in county public schools as a student at Southern Middle School. Then she was a student at Mary Moss, which was at this other school here, and then she ended up at an alternative school as well.
Okay.
Now, this is just a fucking mess. The problem is, our guy Ezekiel here, I know his name's Gabriel, but Gabriel Ezekiel Struss, he describes 13 as his, quote, girlfriend.
Oh, you can't.
He's 18 years old.
You can't do that.
That is, A, not legal, and B,
question.
just not even close. Just sorry. You know,
Yeah.
if you were 30 and she was 25, no problem.
Yeah.
Wait 17 years. But right now, she can't get into the 8th grade, and you are an adult. So no.
she can't even test into it. So no.
It's not great. So Anthony now, dad here, who, as we found out, was with a gunshot wound with no exit here. He was a remodeling contractor, like we said. He's been unemployed after his injury. He hurt his back in Michigan, okay, because that's where they lived, and then they had come here the last couple of years after he hurt his back. They'd come back to Maryland. They said the injuries that he had sustained in Michigan resulted in multiple back surgeries that hadn't healed properly.
Oh.
So he's constantly in pain.
Yeah, because he's got 5 kids, so he's always got to do something. You can't just let Dad heal.
5 school-age kids to be constantly in pain, and he's only 40. He doesn't feel. He feels like he's 75 if his back's hurting like that. So they said that was when they had to move to Maryland. And they said Ann had grown up in Maryland, so that was fine. Anthony's family had still lived in Anne Arundel County. Like we said, everybody was there. They said he had exhausted most of his disability benefits by then and was pretty much just unemployed and fucked. With 5 children, 5 school-age kids.
And several surgeries that are not healed.
Not healed properly, doctor bills mounting. I mean,
man.
You name it. That's a rough start here. So now Jacqueline, who we found out was butchered in the basement here. Jacqueline Riggs is her name. She's born in 1990, 25, and when she dies in 2015. She's from, is it Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan?
It is.
Yes. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan is where she's from. She is a child care worker by trade, I guess, here. I guess when they lived in Michigan, when the Anastasis lived in Michigan, they struck up a friendship with her because she also rode motorcycles and hung around the same motorcycle people that the Anastasis did, so they met her that way. And, the sergeant says they struck up an, if you will, like a 3-way romantic relationship when they were in Michigan.
Boy.
They brought in a third.
Yeah.
And it was 3 of them together, the chicks together sometimes him and her, sometimes him and the other one. It was just a mashup, it seemed like. Didn't seem like a lot of rules here. It was like Outback.
Everybody mashes their genitals into each other.
No rules, just cornholing. It's just do what you want.
No rules, just suck it.
Just suck it. No rules, just lick it. Lick it all.
And I don't want to judge anybody, but that's...
No, I don't give a fuck what you do.
You got 5 kids in the
5
house.
kids is a lot.
That's a tough sell.
Hey, you know what? If all the kids are at Grandma's house that weekend and you guys are going to some fucking thing, you go, I don't give a shit what people do. I don't care. I really don't. But,
somehow that's going to bleed over. You can't. Somebody's going to hear something, for Christ's sake.
Now, Anne will say later that, yes, she had, as she put it, some intimate contact with Jacqueline. Some intimate contact. She said she was never a real big fan of that. So after one incident, she didn't want to participate in it again sexually.
She fart in your face?
Yeah, I think she really she let loose with a real good one. Really,
she queef in your mouth.
Something she didn't like it. But that's not what a lot of people. That's not what everybody else says. So apparently, it was going on. The 3 of them for a while. Eventually, though, Anne kind of stops sleeping with Jacqueline, but Anthony keeps sleeping with Jacqueline and her, and that sort of shit. So that's how that goes.
Well.
It should go great, especially if they all live in the same house. I feel like, how could it go wrong? How could it possibly go? If this doesn't work, how are we going to ever be happy with whatever we do in our lives?
Whatever you do.
This is ideal. So. They said Anthony tells Anne one day, quote, I'm moving Jacqueline to Maryland and she's going to come and live with us in our house.
Oh, my God.
You know my side piece?
Yeah.
The one who... Yeah, her. The one with fat fingers, like you said. Yeah, her. She's coming. She's coming here.
And she's bringing all of her Breaking Benjamin CDs.
She's bringing it all. So... I'm going to put some extra soundproofing in the basement for multiple reasons. She does that. I guess Jackie wanted to get out of Michigan. She wanted a new start. So she came down to Maryland and said she could opportunity for her to start over down there. Yeah. They only knew each other for about a year.
Is that right?
It wasn't like they were hanging out for 5 years or anything. It was only about
smooth motherfucker.
Right? This man, he's Anthony with it. By the way, while he's holding his back on, for Christ's sake, hold on. Yeah. Hey, come here, sweetheart. Yeah, I wanted you to come over here and lick my wife's ass. Would you, Jesus? Like, he's smooth.
It'll help my back heal.
You want to help my back heal? I got to stay perfectly still, so if you guys just want to
Throw
take sides,
digits.
switch.
Throw 2 digits in my wife, would you?
I mean, would you do that? Hold on, prop my head up so I can see.
Jesus fuck.
So, they were all part of a motorcycle group, and that's how they met. I don't know if it's just a hangout ride group or a fucking club or gang.
Gang.
No idea. So they, but she was a motorcycle person, and the detective later would say apparently both of them were motorcyclists, so they had that in common. And they asked Jackie, someone who they both liked, to come and live with them and with their children in their new home in Maryland. So they also said the little bit of rent money that Jackie was paying helped out the family because he's unemployed and all that. Mm-hmm. So in the end, they were like, win-win, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah. A little bit of rent money, a little bit of squish. We'll make it even.
We'll make it all work here. The children knew she was there. They didn't hide her or anything. It wasn't like you have to. She wasn't Bubbles and fucking.
Don't come up here. This door will be
in his
locked.
sister's house or any shit like that. Just she was allowed to come upstairs and stuff. So they referred to her as Aunt Jackie. The children.
I know they did.
Aunt Jackie.
I knew it.
Fucking Aunt Jackie. There's always an Aunt Jackie.
You bet.
So this is how this has come to a head. Injuries, motorcycles, pet snakes, Michigan, threesomes, twosomes, finger banging, fucking basements, Maryland, 911, bloodbath, 45.
Motorcycles are awesome.
45. I'm blaming the snakes on this one. I'm not even blaming the motorcycle. This is a snake issue. I feel
it sure is. Yeah.
Anybody, if you have right now, if you're listening to the sound of, if you can hear the sound of my voice, if I'm holding the microphone like I'm whispering into your ear, listen, it's just us right now. Can you hear us? If you are married or have someone you live with, been together a long time, and you have pets that anybody would consider a little exotic, say, not a dog, not a cat, not a fish. Or
somebody says, you got a what?
No, if you have piranha, this will fall into this category, but normal fish.
Yeah.
If people go, oh my God, where are they? And they get worried about it.
Where do you keep them?
There's a good chance you're going to be murdered. So
murder's going to touch your life.
Be careful. No parrots. We found that out right away.
Holy Christ. If you've got a bird, get rid of it.
I mean, right now, look to your left, look to your right. There's probably someone coming with a knife, so you should probably run if you have parrots. But snakes, I would say, just to keep it cautiously optimistic, let's call it.
Serve it for Thanksgiving and tell them that there's a shortage of turkeys.
Yeah.
They're very small this year.
Head on a swivel, you know what I'm saying?
Watch out.
Jesus Christ, man.
We're eating this because it's for your own good. For all of our own good.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to. We have no choice. So, oh my goodness here. October the 5th is the 911 call and the deaths and, the initial investigation, murder-suicide. As we see, this is the point we're at. So over the next few days, though, some stuff starts to come out here. And more stuff. More stuff. Well,
more.
Evidentiary shit, not more weird background. They didn't also have like alpacas out back and something like that. Like there wasn't any more strange animals they were raising.
They only kept them to fist fuck them.
Yeah. No, they like to watch them fist fuck each other. They taught them. We teach alpacas to do pornographic maneuvers down here. That's what we do. Snakes are us. Alpacas are fucked. Those are our two businesses.
And we keep a concubine.
We keep them all here for them. So the police said anytime we have a shooting incident, we take gunshot residue, testing from the parties on the scene. So they said they took it from Anne as well as 13. Yeah. They were both tested. They took her clothes for her as well, from her as well. She indicated those are the clothes she had on from the previous day. So she said the next day she was still wearing the same clothes. She's
never even changed,
I never even changed. Shit's been getting wild. They've been going over my house. Plus, I can't find anything in there. It's a mess.
My dresses are under all those tapes.
Yeah, this is crazy. So they said this is when they get the body out of there, and now they're really looking for any kind of evidence that they could find. When the body's there, you're concentrating on the body and how things are related to the body. Once they move the body, now you're like, okay, where's everything else? Yeah. So they said no forced entry. There's no damage to anything other than damage to things in Jackie's bedroom that were clearly from a struggle.
Okay.
where there'd be blood, you know, and where she broke something, leaned on something. There was a physical struggle down there. Absolutely. So the crime scene techs are there. They said the crime scene where Jacqueline Riggs was found was essentially as diametrically opposed to the crime scene where Anthony was found as you could be.
Huh.
Anthony was found in this like peaceful
yeah.
gun next to the Bible laying on his bed. He might as well have his hands folded neatly on his chest if he, you know, didn't have shot himself first.
Right.
And then, so there's that. Now down there, it's a bloodbath. Looks like a horror movie. There's fucking metal music playing. Blood on the fucking wall. Blood on the walls. You know what I mean? They're fucking, yeah. It's a different scene.
If you growled that detective's words, they were the words to a metal song.
They were, or she said them backwards. That's metal lyrics.
Yeah.
So they said Anthony, found lying in bed with a single gunshot wound to the head, kind of felt like a very sterile environment. Jackie was found lying on the floor of a makeshift basement bedroom with multiple stabbing and cutting injuries, blood all over the place, and the bedclothes all in disarray.
Okay.
Just a very violent crime scene where she was discovered. They said it's very common for the perpetrator or the offender to have cut themselves while they're cutting their victim.
Yeah.
So this could help a lot. There's blood everywhere. They're going to have to go through it all, but once they go through it all, someone's
Perhaps
other blood's got to be in there.
Yeah, sure.
So they said hopefully they can find the murderer's DNA, because this is 2015. This isn't like one of our 1978. So they're like, get a mop, clean all this shit up so we can start working on the evidence. Like this is this is different. They take blood samples from everywhere. They also take blood samples from Anthony's bedroom as well. So they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
What the hell went down here? So now, while this is going on, this is taking the whole day. So, you know, her and the kids are out in the front yard. Kids come home from school. It's a crime scene, you know, so they're out in the front yard. They said, a policeman said, when we see Anne, she was with her 5 children and another child, Gabriel Struss, the 18-year-old.
Right.
Anne makes a comment that he's part of the family. Just says, oh, this is Gabriel. He's part of the family. Like, yeah, he's, you know, we take care of him too. So they tell Anne about, as we'll talk about, they find a neighbor here. First of all, the neighbors said, everybody in the neighborhood was shocked at this because it wasn't a thing that happened around here at all, obviously. They said, quote, murders are not something that happens in this particular part of the county. So it was really quite a wake-up call. That's
sure.
a quote.
Yeah.
One neighbor reported seeing a man on a motorcycle,
What?
speed off from outside the Anastasi's around midnight the night of the murder. Okay. And the neighbor went on to say, there's some outlaw motorcycle gangs in that area.
Is there?
They love to hang out in rural Maryland. It's the best. They're waiting. It's the Irish festival that draws them, really. They said it was certainly an angle as investigators we had to pursue. So detectives tell Anne about the man the neighbor saw on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And she says, well, okay, I don't know really around here, but Jackie has a biker guy that she knows back in Michigan that she had a bad relationship with, and it didn't help that she moved here with us and we were both fucking her, and you know she doesn't tell the cops that at all. They don't really know. They don't know that everybody's fucking at this point, the cops, and Anne didn't tell them yet. So this is all. They just think that she's just the lady who lives, young lady who lives in the basement, and my husband shot himself. So Anne suggested that maybe this guy back in Michigan could have been the one to do this. Could have rode his bike all the way here, killed her, and he's going to ride on back. So Anne said she doesn't remember his name, but knew people in Michigan that she could ask and find out what his name was. Like, I could track it down. I could do a little detective work here. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, shit, what do I look like? So autopsies. Let's talk about that. Jackie, 42 knife wounds, like we said, 20 good deep puncture wounds, 20 like deep stabs. That is,
God,
my God, that's a lot of and then 22 slices and smaller stabs. So anytime, like we've done before, we said do a stabbing motion, and by the way, there's resistance when you hit, so it's worse than that. Every time, in and out, and you get to about 15, and you're like,
You just got to 19 right there, and you're beat, right?
I'm a little tired. Just take a knife, get a big watermelon, take a knife, because it's very similar to those two. Take a knife, stab it a bunch of times. See how long it takes you to get tired. And
then imagine that watermelon's fighting back.
It's fighting back, and how much of a rage you'd have to be in to keep doing this, They said, defensive wounds on her hands, which indicate that she was awake and alive and fighting during the time of the attack. They say, when we see that many cut wounds, that says to us that Jackie Riggs was fighting for her life for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it took her, she didn't die after 2 stabs. Right. This was like, she was getting stabbed a lot and still fighting back. And she's a tough biker chick.
Right.
You know,
you're not fuck with those chicks.
You're not going to just stab her once and she's going to go, oh, God, and fall down. Right. She's going to go, what'd you do that for, motherfucker? Right. And then she's going to try to stab you, probably.
You're going to be injured. I assure you.
She's going to try to do that. Anthony, single bullet wound to the head right above the ear next to the temple, like behind the temple. Yeah. They said they find out here that the bullet wound, when they get the bullet, it's still in his head.
Yeah.
No exit. So they're thrilled about that because then they can at least have some evidence here.
Right.
They pull the wound out here. They pull the bullet out, and it's a .380.
Oh, that doesn't fire from that gun.
It's a .380. The gun found alongside him was a .45.
Right.
So they're like, okay, what's the shell casing?
Yeah.
The shell casing's a .380.
Huh.
Bullet's a .380.
So there's a gun missing.
So they're like, they said, that's interesting here. So they did an analysis of this because they wanted to make sure. They sent it to the FBI labs to make sure that this isn't physically possible. It's a 6-hour 45 caliber handgun found next to him, and the .380 shell found in the master bedroom there. The examination concluded that the projectile that was removed from his head was a .380 and found not to have been fired from the 6-hour 45 caliber handgun. Yeah. They said as soon as you see he had a 45 caliber gun in his hand, you know that something's off because it's physically impossible for a 45 caliber to fire that .380.
Right.
They sent it to FBI headquarters to make sure, and they said, quote, we were discussing with the FBI the possibility a .380 round could have been fired through a 45 caliber handgun. He said the FBI guy said he'd have to look into it a little further, the firearms expert, because there are a lot of weird compatibilities with guns, but they seem like they're not even close to the same caliber.
It's
a
not
.380
even
is a small fucking gun.
Yeah, but so a .380 looks kind of like a small 9mm round.
Yeah,
and
small.
It doesn't fit.
45's a fucking.
It'll fall right out of the fucking barrel. It doesn't sit still.
Yeah. So they asked for a rush on it because they didn't know what was going on with that. This is a huge, like, what the fuck? We thought this is a suicide here.
Right.
So they said while that was going on, they started doing background investigations on everybody in the house.
Okay.
Anne's background completely clean.
Oh.
No criminal shit, no, nothing like that.
She's a good girl.
Anthony had a DUI.
Okay.
But nothing violent, nothing that would raise red flags or make them go, oh man, Anthony's a ticking time bomb over here. You know what I mean? He tried to cut a guy with a beer bottle 3 months ago or something. Now, Jackie actually had a fucking prior from a drunken bar fight with a man named Larry Conklin.
She's a bad girl, man.
Jackie got in a bar fight with a guy named Larry. That's what she got in trouble for. And she got arrested.
Yeah, Larry Conklin sounds like a boxer, and she got the better of him.
We don't know if she got the better if they just arrested both of them, but if you're a lady and you're getting in a bar fight with a guy and they arrest both of you, you held your own. That means you did pretty well for yourself. Good for you. They were like, oh no, she's going too. She's a problem. This isn't abuse. This is just two people being dicks. So at that point, they don't understand the gun thing. Mm-hmm. They theorize, though, that maybe this jealous boyfriend with the motorcycle thing, he could have very easily done this. Why couldn't he have done this?
Yeah,
found him sleeping.
If you got a bad back and a family to protect, maybe you sleep next to your gun.
That's the thing. Maybe you sleep next to your gun. You're insecure about your physical prowess.
Yeah.
And why not shoot him with your .380? Then if the guy's got a .45 next to him, put that .45 next to him. There we go. Looks like it's fucking done. You take your gun with you. You take your knife with you.
Yeah.
It seems pretty pretty decent as a theory. They said, we definitely looked into their history and what exactly was their involvement within the motorcycle club activity. Okay. So were they doing shit that would, make them targets?
Right.
They said maybe, though, they said that it's also a lover's quarrel would make sense because of the amount of knife wounds. This isn't a...
Right. This is very personal.
When someone gets mugged or something, there's not 42 stab wounds because why would you do that? This is a personal, I'm mad at you and I'm going to show you how mad at you I am type of shit. They said it's a crime of passion. They believe that maybe Anthony stabbed Jackie, or that could possibly have happened. Maybe fucking the guy came and did it from Michigan. They don't know. But they couldn't deal with the fact that the shell casing in the gun is a huge issue.
Yeah,
here.
oh boy, that'd keep me up.
Yeah, so the blood. Let's talk about the blood.
Oh boy.
So they said it's called slippage when you cut your hand stabbing somebody. That's so weird too. I've never stabbed a human being, but whenever I see in a movie or something someone stabbing someone with a knife that doesn't have a protective hilt, I'm always like, oh, you're totally going to cut your hand, bro. You're absolutely going to slice
you're about
yourself.
To fuck your tendons up.
Fuck are you doing, man? Jesus Christ. You're going to leave blood behind. You're going to need stitches. Like, you're doing this murder. Awful. Goddamn, consult with me before you start killing people. I can help a lot.
You're going to sever a tendon, your thumb's not going to work.
No, this is a mess now. You're not going to notice it till afterwards, but
right.
Because you're in a weird state of bloodlust, obviously.
Yeah.
But still, I'm a little freaked out by it. So they said there's a lot of blood, and that can cause your hand to slide over the handle of the weapon down on the actual blade, obviously.
And blood is fucking slippery. If you stab somebody, it's getting on that knife. It's going to get on the handle.
It's everywhere.
And you're going to slip for sure.
It's going to be awfully slippery, and you're going to end up with a big cut. Yeah. They said if you think about it, how easy it is to cut your finger when you're slicing an apple or cutting your steak. It's a lot easier to cut yourself when somebody's fighting against you. Yeah. And Jackie's a biker chick who's got arrested for bar brawls with guys is fighting against you. So, that's the other thing, too. They're wondering if Anthony had it in him to be able to do this. They're like,
with fucked up back. Yeah.
With a fucked up back. I don't know if he could have fucking stabbed her to death like that. Or if he did this, he'd probably be wearing as much, a lot of wounds, too. He'd have a black eye and, his balls would be kicked in and everything else. But it doesn't seem to be the case. So
he'd certainly be covered in blood.
Yeah, they're like, that's weird. They said the blood that was downstairs all came back as Jacqueline Riggs' blood.
Is that right?
Not a speck of foreign blood in that place.
Somebody have a fucking knife on a stick?
That's great. That is impressive. Somebody had a good grip, man. I'll tell you what.
Doubt.
So the FBI tests come back, and the FBI confirms that the bullet found in the skull could not technically have been fired from the .45. They said the .380 would not fire out of it. The calibers were just too different. The bullet would literally fall out of the barrel, like you said.
Yeah,
they said it'll literally
just stay. Yeah,
it's too big in there. The barrel is huge.
It's a huge bore.
Yeah,
it's way too much.
It's big. It's 45 is a big fucking gun.
Sure is.
So they said the gun that was found on the scene was not the gun that killed him. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. So they were like, okay. And they said they actually tested and found that it just didn't work, which I could see the guy trying to do it in the lab. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, it's a matter of just math that, like...
Yeah, you go, this is not going to...
Right, it's a center fire round, so you've got to hit right in the center. So if it's too small for the bore, then that primer is too low for the firing pin to hit it. It's just impossible.
It's not held in place because it's too small.
Even if the firing pin could hit it,
it would just push them out of the
hole.
Yeah,
it would just shell and bullet out.
Push it out of the front of the gun and it would fall out. That's all it would do. It wouldn't fucking
like a BB gun.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard enough to go out. So they said that they were notified by the chief medical examiner that obviously when it still had it in his head, and they said, okay, so this is somebody else is here at this point.
Yeah.
So they find out the name of the biker. It's Larry Conklin, the guy she had a bar fight with.
Get the fuck out of here.
She got in a drunken bar fight with her biker boyfriend.
She fought a man she fucks in public.
In public at the bar, enough to where they both went to jail.
Right.
So that's a fight, not I'm going to hit you. That's, motherfucker, let's go then. That's a different case completely.
That's a passionate gal.
Wow. So, they said that they figured talking to people, they found out that they that she basically went to Maryland to kind of get away from him. Jackie did, and they said, "Fuck, maybe he tracked her down." This is very possible. So everything starts to spread around. One of the neighbors said, "Everybody knows each other in Lothian. It's a small one-horse town. It's been most famous for its Chesapeake crabs, and then suddenly there's this double murder there." Jesus Christ. The cops said there was a bit of panic, so for us, time is imperative. We have to get it out in front of this investigation as soon as possible, because now it's not a suicide. Everyone in this rural area started freaking out. Now they're like calling the police station, going, "Did you find that guy yet?
Right.
Did you find out who did that double murder? Because I don't want to be killed in my home."
Exactly.
So it's a lot of pressure here. They heard from a waitress. They found in the small towns, the nice thing is if there's only 3 restaurants within a 40-mile radius, you can just go ask all of them if they've been there.
Yeah.
You could ask every store in town, "You see Anthony today?" "No?" "Okay. All right."
Yeah.
"How about yesterday?" So a waitress said that Anthony and Jackie had been in her restaurant not long before the deaths.
Oh.
So they were together, and they were like, "Well, were they fighting or anything like that?" And she said, "Well, they weren't fighting, but they couldn't keep their hands off each other. They were the opposite of fighting. They were. We thought they were going to
affectionate.
So we thought they were going to fuck in the booth. Like it was a lot." They said the waitress said she was shocked to learn that he was married because he and Jackie commonly came to that diner and made out and were all over each other while they ate. So
that's just where he goes to make out.
That's his makeout spot. She said there was a lot of touching and cuddling, and it definitely appeared that they were a couple.
Okay.
"I'm going to order me an omelet and finger you under the table. I'm going to get me a Denver omelet and finger you under the table. What do you say, girl?"
Some biscuits and pussy.
That's right. You know how I do. Let me get a large coffee. Let me get the big stack of pancakes. I like that. And what's your cock rings look like this morning? So they said that's how that was going.
Yeah.
They said the information was very important to the investigators. The one investigator said love, lust, sex, hate, greed are all huge motivators when it comes to murder.
And they're all in this.
They're all in this.
Every one of those very obvious reasons to murder somebody, all the elements are right here.
Failure, money, snakes, it's all there.
Breakfast pussy, too.
Breakfast pussy. Now open for breakfast pussy.
Yeah. Somebody once asked me, "How would you like your eggs?" And she said, "Fertilized." And I haven't been soft at breakfast ever since.
Ever since then, I get a little ornery and anxious.
Breakfast makes me horny.
I get ornery in the pants, if you know what I mean. So a phone call they get from a witness now, okay? Somebody calls them with a tip and says, I need to tell you guys something. Calls the police. A woman with children the same age as the Anastasi's middle children called to speak to detectives. According to this woman's children, Anthony was horrible to Anne, they were saying. Anthony treated her terrible. They said, quote, she spoke with her children who advised that Anthony was extremely abusive to Anne, physically abusive, verbally abusive. He beats his wife in front of the fucking kids' friends. It's not even good enough for him to hit the wife in front of the kids. Even when they have people over, they'll fucking hit him.
How dare you, sir?
What the fuck are you doing?
You've got a woman for sex living in the basement. You got a wife that gave you $1 million to blow
$1 million. You got a biker fucking fuck buddy in the basement.
Right. And you're beating her?
You're beating her? This just seems, I don't know.
She seems like an angel to me. I don't know.
I suppose. They said that this woman said that she felt the need to come forward, and she said she's worried about the children in the home.
Well, there's 5 of them, yeah.
There's 5 of them. So, yeah, that's a big one. They're like, this is the first person they've heard from, because even Ann said, he's been a dick to me, and, the kids voted and all that kind of shit. But
we had a fire ceremony.
I had to get past the fire ceremony with the kids. That was a hard one.
They hired Jeff Probst for this shit. It was crazy.
It was so weird. I didn't expect there to be like a full-on host, but it was crazy.
A naked gay man walked past the screen. I don't know.
It was
It's
weird.
crazy.
They took like their Union 15s. I was like, what is happening here? Is this for real? So they said, she's worried about the children. And now the police want to talk to Anne to see if this is true.
Yeah.
You know, are you kind of sweeping your family's dirty laundry under the carpet? And,
Yeah. You kind of got to be honest with us. We don't want to put this in public, but the more you hide, the more we've got to release.
The more it's tough. Yeah, we got to talk to other people. So they said that the last several years had been a notable time for significant incidents of domestic violence that Anthony had inflicted upon her, she said, including locking her out of the house, beatings, physical violence of all sorts, and that sort of shit. And on several occasions, she said she tried to leave him and tried to seek a better life, but he would make threats that he would have a biker gang come and kill her or kidnap her and do worse. You can use your imagination as to what he's threatening there.
You know what it is.
You know what's going on. And then they'll kill her, obviously. After the pinball machine, then they're going to kill her. So this is, that's what she's saying. She's saying threats of
terrible.
Yeah, gang beatings and murders and all this type of shit. So they said part of the reason that they returned to Maryland was because she felt like coming back to Maryland for work and with her husband and her family and her children. She just wanted to have a fresh start.
Yeah.
She's
and
like,
this is where her family's at too, right?
Yes, it's where her family's at.
She's got financial support. If
and just support, somewhere to run.
Right.
Somewhere to run.
Out.
You got a couch to run to is there for you. And that's important, especially if you're in a shaky relationship where you think you might have to run away at any point in time.
Safety net's helpful. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. So and she thought maybe once he gets out of there in that environment and just what's been going on with the back surgeries and the depression and the hanging out with the bikers and all this type of shit, he'll snap back out of this and come back to reasonable earth here. So when he said he wanted to introduce Jackie, Jackie and all that, later on we'll talk about that, but she said that wasn't, she wasn't too into that at the time. Jackie was living at the home, the police found out through other people, essentially as Anthony's mistress. So when Jackie came, that's when tensions really started to rise. All Ann said was, when Jackie came, that was when tensions got more into that.
Are you telling me, James, that if you're married and you introduce a third, things can get difficult?
Weird, right? And keep them in the house?
Yeah. You're telling me you got a marriage that ain't quite working.
Hey,
and you add another person?
Here's a chick. Hey, babe. Yeah, I'm going to bring this chick in. She's like 17 years younger than you. I'm going to fuck her in the house. Cool? Try that, guys, at home.
You know how our personalities aren't quite meshing? Let's add another personality.
Yeah, let's add one in there. My personality will be better because I'll be happier after fucking her. So,
and yours will be worse because you're going to feel, shame and embarrassment and less of a person.
I'm going to make you watch. So you're not going to like it at all.
Holy fuck.
The balls on this fucking guy.
I can't imagine.
And then my back hurts? What are you talking about? Fuck out of here with that.
I threw out my back in my mistress.
I wonder where he got his injuries from. Fucking, I think.
I threw out my back in this girl who beats up men in public.
In bars.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, also, we're broke because I blew through all your money.
Yeah. But my motorcycle's very shiny. Good news, bad news.
The Chrome card's all paid up.
Bad news is we're dead broke. Good news is, have you seen the pipes on this thing?
If you haven't seen them, have a listen.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Just gonna say, pretty fucking good.
The fucking arrogance, I can't imagine.
He's got sack, this guy. I'll give him
Truly.
that. So
no back, all sack.
All sack, no back, all sack's his motto.
Yeah.
So they bring Ann in, and they bring Ann and 13 in as well because she was home.
Yeah. Well, she was with mom all day.
She was with mom, and then she was home when this went down. The other kids were at school. To see maybe what they would have heard and what they would have seen and all that kind of thing here. Yeah, Ann tells the cops just, a little bit about where she was, and then she talks about the abuse a little bit. Yeah. The detective said, quote, "What's the worst threat he ever made toward you?"
Oh, God, brace yourself.
Talking about threats. She said, "Held a gun to my head and told me to get out of his house."
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's a threat. You don't hold guns to people's heads. That generally, that's not great.
But I mean, in the other one was, I'll call a bunch of guys to
kidnap
worse,
you and take you apart.
Do horrible things to you.
That was a threat if you did something. But this is held a gun, told me to get out of his house. And they said, "When was that?" And she said, "That would have been a couple months ago."
Oh, very recent.
So that was the most that they were asking kind of for more recently. Well, that's also the worst. And she's saying it's escalated because that was recent.
Yeah.
So they said, okay. She said, "And I'm told by him if I ever tell the police about it, if I ever tell anybody about it, he's going to kill me and whomever I tell."
Oh. So now if you tell people, you're putting them in danger, not just yourself.
Yes. Yeah. You're basically the Grim Reaper now going around with the story. When you touch them with it, they're going to... That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment. And Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. All lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
I don't know what's going on here.
That's a terrible threat, though.
It's an awful threat.
Yeah.
That sounds god-awful here. The sergeant here, the detective, said, quote, "Very controlling relationship is what she described, but also by some accounts, a caring, loving, nurturing father. It just depended on who you talked to, and the children respected and loved him as well," they said, even though they also said that they had to vote on whether their mom was coming back or not. So now, this is when they find out that, Jacqueline wasn't really a house guest. They knew it from other people, but this is when they
had
Ann with
inklings. They had ideas.
They were, something's going on here.
17-year-old certainly fucking knew.
Yeah, well, maybe when they were going around getting blood samples and shit, they found some jizz too, probably. You know what I'm saying? They probably found some stains. So they said, the detective said, quote, "I have to ask you this question, Ann." You know what's coming here.
Yeah.
"Do you think that your husband and Jacqueline were messing around?"
Uh-huh.
And he's breaching it like, "Listen, I know this isn't a pleasant subject."
Yeah.
She said, quote, "Oh, I know they were."
Oh, for sure.
I seen it. I mean, it's
yeah.
I've been there, literally.
I smelled it. I watched it happen.
I watched it. The detective said they were. Okay, and how do you know they were? And Ann said, because he'd spend not most, but he'd spend a lot of nights down there with the doors locked, like a lot of them.
Oh, God.
They said essentially he was living in the basement with Jackie, and then he wasn't ever
playing pinochle. Yeah.
No, they're not. Yeah, the 25-year-old biker chick in the basement, you're down there for fucking. There's no...
For sure.
Yeah, it's not just some emotional support you guys are getting into together.
We're not watching all these VHS tapes.
Maybe. There's porn in them. So the detective said, did you ever confront him about it? Which is a very good question to ask.
Hell of a question. She
said, listen to this, wow, quote, I was told that basically to mind my own business.
How?
Listen, I realized I'm your husband and this is your house, but mind your own fucking business where I put my dick in your house, okay? What?
Has he
what is her business?
You?
Yeah. Listen, that's all. That's our number one thing. And mind your fucking business, all right? Yeah. Italians go to that right away, even when it makes no sense whatsoever.
Are you fucking hurt? Mind your own business.
Mind your own business. You're at a DUI stop and they're like, you had any drinks tonight? Mind your fucking business. Well, this is kind of the whole purpose of why we're standing here.
Kind of what I'm doing, yeah.
Kind of what I'm doing here. That's kind of what's going on here. Mind your own business, she was told, which is the ballsiest statement anyone's ever made to their wife.
And for her to do it is it kind? Is it what is that?
I don't know what that is.
I can't put my finger on that. I don't know if it's like, is it shielding? Is she doing it for her own emotional safety?
I don't know if she's doing it for that, but in her own head, she's saying, I'm trying to do this for the kids to, to keep a normalcy.
But she
Who
knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she said he basically told me to mind my own business, and he's going to do what he wants to do. And if I didn't like it, I can get the fuck out of the house, is what he told her. Literally, that's the quote. I can get the fuck on out of the house. You don't like it? Doors that way. Enjoy.
I can get the fuck right out of this.
Right on out of the house.
Imagine saying that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm banging this broad. You don't like it, you can get the fuck on out of my house. There's the door. Turn the TV up if you're hearing screams. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm going to have to tell that to a cop in the future.
Yeah, that's go ahead and keep that in the old memory bank. And she said, and I'm not going to abandon my kids and leave them in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Well, no, you take them with you if probably. Yeah. They said, was there any jealousy in this whole thing?
Yeah.
And she says, not really jealousy, just kind of didn't like the way the arrangement was. She said, so I would regularly tell him she needs to get out. If you're going to stay with her, then you can both get out. Why are you here in the house if you don't want to be with me? You two can just pack up and go.
Okay. Overall apprehension and rejecting of this plan.
Rejecting of the plan, but then also allowing it. And because at the end of the day, he's banging her in the locked door basement while you're up in the stairs and it's going on. So it's happening every day.
He's like, all right, fine. I'll be in the basement if you need me.
Yeah, no shit. So she readily submits to a gunpowder test, gets her cheeks swabbed for DNA.
Yeah.
By the way, she says, quote, does it matter if I'm yawning during this?
That often changes your DNA, Ann.
Yes, your DNA will come up way different during a yawn. That's a big one.
This is the DNA of a yawning person, so I don't think that this person murdered all these people.
In a lot of rape cases, we're like, I don't know if this is either a match to you or the real rapist coughed while he jizzed. Either one. We're not sure which one.
The position of your mouth oftentimes comes into question. When we take your DNA sample, Mr. Possible Rapist, can you make sure to moan as if you're coming?
Yeah, can you do that? Okay, that's better.
Oh, Ann, you're so sweet.
She is a sweetheart here. So she gives them her cell phone to, they like to look over that in 2015, and she straps herself on in for a polygraph.
Oh, boy.
She's ready to do it all here. Her answers are simple and direct. They said Ann was extremely cooperative during the initial interview. Every question she did not hesitate to answer. So seems normal. In the next room, they're talking to 13.
Yeah.
They got 13 here, and they said, quote, the 13-year-old was extremely distraught by the death of her father. No shit.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you think? I mean,
I can't imagine.
Find a 13-year-old, kill their father, see how they react to it. Not well.
Don't do that.
Don't literally do
That's terrible advice.
That's going a little out of your way for a sociological experiment to see how they react to it.
I think you can imagine.
You can imagine. Sad is what we're getting at. So don't actually.
A little broken up.
I'm all broken up about it. So they said she was, quote, very erratic, and at one point tried to run out of our building. Just tried to get up and run away.
Oh, my.
The sergeant said it was a lot of trauma for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
And this is the one that's already got plenty of issues because she can't even get through public school 8th grade, right?
Yeah. She's the one who's in an alternative school.
Right.
Then they found out that the 13-year-old, 13, and her father had a close relationship, and there's rumors that she overheard her father and Jackie talking about Jackie possibly being pregnant.
Oh, my.
And they found a used pregnancy test in the basement as well.
Uh-huh.
Okay, she wasn't pregnant, by the way, that we know of. Apparently, the 13 was upset and didn't want them to have a baby because she was close to her dad and she didn't want him to have any more kids, especially with Jackie.
Because mom's right there.
Probably going to piss mom off, and then what happens here? So the cops take her 13's phone as well. They got 13's phone, they got Ann's phone, and they said, quote, we were actually getting back a lot of detailed text messages between Ann, 13, and another person who we got their phone number on there, too. There was a three-way text. So during the investigation here, they got all the cell records for October 4th and 5th and a review of text messages between this other number, 13, and Ann. Were discussing specific transportation to the house, specific concealment of an individual on the property, and specific discussion of the murder of two individuals.
And they did this over texts?
Over text, back and probably with like emojis and shit too. You know, if the 13-year-old's involved in it, you know there's emojis.
Oh, there's a smiley face or a squirt gun or fucking crossbones.
Someone says like stab her 40 times, like throw up face, and then like
and the knife.
Jesus Christ. So they bring back Ann in to give her results of her polygraph and of her lab tests, and the detective said, this is great. There's a couple of things we need to clear up real quick, he says.
Small inconsistencies, Ann.
You definitely clear your throat before you start that sentence. The tests that they took from your clothes and your hands, well, they were all sent off. And Ann said, probably found lots of cat milk on there.
What?
That's the
What?
What? Why are you covered in cat milk? I get that they have cats. Remember, get the cats and get out of the bedroom, but...
Yeah, this is a very Meet the Fockers moment.
What the fuck is happening?
A lie detector and somebody's milking cats? What's
Someone's
happening?
milking cats. I got cat milk. There's snakes going. Yeah, it's very, very fucking... Wow.
Geppetto's milk was all over.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is bonkers. So... Lots of, Jesus Christ, lots of cat milk. Lots of cat milk on there. And he said, well, what we did find a lot of was gunshot residue on you and your clothes.
Uh-oh.
She said, you know what her answer was?
I'd love to know.
Really? That's weird.
Not even. Didn't even.
Really? That's weird. Super weird, right? Strange.
Not even trying to justify.
Really? That's weird. She had.
Where would that come from, officer?
She had like 2 days. She gave them the clothes.
Yeah.
And if there was gunshot residue, she fucking knew it. Mm-hmm. She had like 2 days to come up with a reason why she's covered in gunshot residue. And she came up with, really? That's weird.
Is that right?
Weird. Huh, that's so weird.
Am I curious?
It's just weird. And they said,
do cats oftentimes lactate gunshot residue? Because I've been covered in cat milk.
They make gunpowder from dried cat's milk, I hear. Is that any truth to that, officer?
Powdered cat's milk.
It's powdered cat's milk, and you mix it with something else, and then it's very explosive.
The Chinese came up with gunpowder from powdered Siamese.
It's pretty incredible. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's wild. It's
So
fucking crazy.
that's going to be.
That's weird.
Say again?
So they go, it is weird.
Yeah.
You know what else is weird? You also failed your polygraph.
Yeah.
They said, quote, you did not just fail it, you flunked the hell out of it. Which is like real
Love to
bad.
give you your polygraph grade.
Yeah.
Flunked the hell out of it.
Flunked the hell. He just gave it like an F minus and put ha 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 under it. That's what the guy said. I think if you did bad is what that means. So they also inform her also the gun in the bedroom isn't the gun that killed him.
Impossible, ma'am.
Literally physically impossible. They said the gun that was found next to your husband was tested, okay, and compared the bullet to the one that was found in his skull, okay? There's no possible way that weapon fired that bullet found in your husband's head. Okay. Then they find, there's another thing from the cell phone, a long call with 13 at 3 a.m.
What?
Why the fuck are they on the phone with each other at 3 a.m. for a long time? Your kid should be in bed, probably. If she's
Although
13.
she was sick, she could have been in the bathroom saying, "Don't come in here. I'll call you with how bad this is going. I'm throwing up
gross.
everywhere.
I am shitting ropes in here. It's wild.
I'm shitting in the toilet and puking in the tub. Don't
One
come
of those.
in."
So the detective said, quote, we've got some phone records, and that night you and 13 talked for 582 seconds at 3 in the morning, which is 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Man,
60.
like, how many maths is that?
Wow, that's a lot. 60 times 10. I just quick 10 minutes.
Why do you have to do it in seconds?
Yeah, that's because it's exact.
What is this, rent? Take it easy, sir.
No, it's exact. Yeah, what the fuck? He then said, that's about 10 minutes. In case you were not familiar with Rent. Unfamiliar with Rent, it's about 10 minutes. Oh, okay. I had tickets, but we never got to go.
Unfamiliar with a gay musical about New York? Here, listen.
I was pregnant at the time, and we just never... They just put that on. She's like, what is this? She said, rather than, really? That's weird.
Yeah.
She said, that might have been a butt dial.
Okay. Butt dial, butt answer?
Butt dial, butt answer, and whatever. And the detective said, that's not a butt dial. That's a long conversation.
Sure is.
Because a butt dial, you'll answer it and go, hello? Hello? And then you'll go, this motherfucker butt dialed me. I hear I hear shit. I hear them
scratching.
talking.
Yeah.
I hear, the TV's on. All right, fuck this. And then you hang up. That's what you do. You don't stay on the line for 10 minutes and go, they'll notice eventually. When they go to text, they'll hear my voice.
How much time do you got, motherfucker?
Jesus. So the detective then said, this is a great quote. So that's a long conversation. Then said, I love this fucking quote, my favorite fucking thing. This is bad for you. This is real bad for you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then they go, they have the text messages between the 13-year-old, her, and the mystery number there about planning the murders, getting rid of an abusive husband, and some young lady that's tearing the fucking family apart. That's what all these texts are about here. Anne actually, this is the assistant attorney later said, Anne actually said that he could come and live at their home once this is the, okay. All right, well, I got to tell you this first. Okay.
Yeah.
The other number is Gabriel.
Yeah.
13's boyfriend. Yes, Mr. Ezekiel Iglesias here.
Iglesias, yeah.
He said that all these texts are to convince him that Jacqueline and Anthony are abusers and have been abusing both of them this whole time to get Gabriel Ezekiel Struss, to kill there. They said Anne had told him that he could come and live at their home once they were dead. Once they're dead, you can come live here. You can have the basement. We'll clean it up nice for you. So then they planned it out. They said, this is from the assistant state's attorney, quote, there was a text message that was sent from Mr. Struss that said, I'm going to slit the girl and bust the dad.
Oh, my.
Oh,
and this is
no.
bad for you. But for me, this is a career-defining moment.
This is pretty fucking cool.
I'm about to get a commendation. I just want you to know.
When they play these tapes like on YouTube later, people are going to go, "Oh, he got that bitch now. It's over." So they said, they clearly already worked out the manner in which this was going to go down. So the cops talked to Gabriel. They hadn't talked to him yet at all. They've been trying to figure this out. So they go over to the high school where he attends, and they said, "We went to get Gabriel Struss as soon as possible. He came from a family of drug addicts and hardened criminals. Gabriel himself was an abused and neglected child." So after school lets out, Gabriel agrees to speak to them. And at first he's like, "I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about there? That's silly. That's super silly." Yeah.
Been texting.
And then they were like, your phone, dummy? And he was like, "Oh, yeah." So they said, Anne, this is from the detectives, Anne promised him a family. She promised him a home. She promised him to be loved. Initially, Gabriel denied any type of involvement, but there were messages between Anne and 13 and Gabriel in detail plotting to kill Anthony and Jackie. They even said and went so far as to think ahead that if anybody were to be caught for this crime, they would all place the blame on the teenage daughter because she's only 13, so what are they going to do to her?
Right.
And she'll just say she did it.
Oh,
so,
is a family that important?
You know what I mean? I guess that's all you've ever wanted. But you're 18. It's too late for that now.
Yeah,
make your own. Now you make your own.
Yeah.
Fuck those people is what you do. You make your own family.
Graduate from high school, be successful at something.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be very successful.
Try.
Just pay your bills and marry a woman. Build your own shit.
A lot of people from shitty families have to do that. Disconnect and move on. So they said that, his life was tougher than most.
It's brutal,
Let's be honest here. But still, once they started reading back this text messages to him, that's when he was like, okay.
It's like Chris Hansen on Catch a Predator.
He came clean.
Please don't read them to me. Please don't read it.
He came clean. Yep. Oh, I like it. I like whatever. Yeah, okay.
Oh, God,
sure.
shit. I know what I said. I know what I said. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, man. He came clean, began to confess the details. They said he identified Anne as the mastermind behind the murder plot. His girlfriend, the 13 there, had revealed to him that she was living and her mother, they were both living in an abusive home, abusive relationship, and painted a picture of a monster. He felt like he was saving the family by doing this. He's getting rid of these two horrible people that are basically ogres that are keeping them hostage in this house.
He's got to be, he's a victim, and I feel terrible that he's murdered. But the way it's being painted, it's got to be a systematic style of abuse that it has taken years and years and years to get Anne to this fucking edge. Or Anne just is a psychopath and needs everybody dead.
Yeah, or everybody's sort of a little bit of scumbags, and he's a scumbag, obviously, and then she's also not doing wonderful, and then fucking, she decides to do this, and that gets rid of those two, and then she doesn't have to worry about a divorce, and she doesn't have to pay him any money, and she won't spend any money she gets from her family, and she can start over.
I feel worse.
Whatever the motivation is, doesn't really...
For Jackie.
Well, yeah, Jackie,
Jesus.
Also, she should have probably known, I'm not saying she's a victim, but also you have to think like, I don't know how this is going to work with me fucking this guy in the house with this lady. Is this going to work out right? Still though, you feel bad for that. So, they said he didn't seem like a crazed killer. They said he was more like a guilt-stricken teenager who confessed. He says that 13 saw something that she couldn't accept, that she overheard her father and Jacqueline talking about getting pregnant, and that she came across the pregnancy test. He said 13 was very close to her dad and didn't want him to have another child. So when 13 found the pregnancy test in Jackie's basement bathroom, she lost it.
Okay.
So they said they talked to 13, and they said she was young and scared and terrified. Then the second time they talked to her, from the messages, they said this 13 was cold and calculating and stoic.
Yeah. It sounds like she's the fucking one.
Yeah. Well, they bring her in, and she said then she was pretty stoic, too. She blamed Jacqueline. She said it's fucking Jacqueline. She said she overheard her and her father talking about pregnancies and all this type of shit. So now they tell Anne, they said, okay, we got Gabriel. He says this. We got your daughter. We got 13. She says this.
Yeah.
What up? What's going on here?
You
we know
flunked
that
the shit out of this, remember?
Yeah, we know now that you, Anne, picked him up that night, drove him over to the house, gave him the gun and the knife, and said, "Here, go ahead and do this." Basically, used him as a puppet through here. They also found in the text messages that even the 13-year-old was saying she's going to take the fall for the murders.
She's My God.
So this is why we're not saying her name, because she's only 13 and we don't know what the future is going to hold, and we don't really want to. I don't know. So I feel like this is not her fault. I mean, she's obviously manipulated. She's 13 years old.
Yeah.
She can't even consent to fucking this guy. Never mind masterminding a.
It feels like mom had feelings of what she wanted done, and the daughter just blurted some shit out after seeing that pregnancy test, and it validated and justified everything mom felt, and she was just like, how do we do it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
They said that 13 and Ann picked up Gabriel. He hung out in the backyard for hours until everybody went to sleep.
Oh, my.
Till the middle of the night. Maryland State's attorney said, quote, Ms. Anastasi, meaning Anne, is there in the kitchen where she meets him, meaning Gabriel. Says she hands him the .380 caliber handgun that he would use later on in the evening. He had the gun in his hoodie pocket, and he had the knife in his hand when he went downstairs to where Ms. Riggs was sleeping, Jackie. Jackie was asleep in her bed when she was attacked, and she awoke to being stabbed and started fighting back.
Yeah.
So, and this kid's never done this before.
He's an 18-year-old. She fights adult bikers.
That's what I mean. The knife barely evens it up. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So they said a grand total of 42 injuries, and Mr. Struss made it clear that he didn't leave the basement until he was certain that she had passed away.
My God.
'Cause that's what he was down there to do. He comes back upstairs, and they said Gabriel then takes the handgun and fires a single round into Mr. Anastasi's temple. They say the 13-year-old daughter then takes him home. How the fuck does that happen?
She can drive.
Apparently she drives. Maybe she just got on her hog. Actually, it's come on, get on.
She rode Dad's fat boy over.
What the fuck?
That is incredible.
Is happening there. Wow. Okay. Anyway, she takes him home.
Yep.
While they're away, that's when Anne comes in, puts the .45 next to the thing.
Know.
She just thought it was all the same. She thought it was the same type of gun.
Guns are guns.
It's all good. It's a gun. There's a gun.
Yeah.
The next morning, Anne and her daughter got up, ate breakfast, got dressed, took a shower. Dad's dead in the bedroom. Slaughter scene downstairs.
Why does Anne have gunpowder residue on her?
Oh, that lasts a couple days. Even if you take a shower, you can't get that off.
So wait, I mean, she's the one that fired the shot, not him?
Apparently, she fired a shot. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But he says he did it. So
okay.
I don't understand what's going on. She's got gunpowder residue on her clothes and hands.
She was there. She had to be the one that fired it.
Well, if the gun is fired and then she takes it right after that, is she going to get?
Maybe.
That could be.
I don't fucking know. I'm not a cop.
I don't know scientifically. Yeah.
Somehow or another, she held a fired weapon.
She held something that. Yeah. So they're all arrested, including 13.
Yeah.
They bring them all in. They said, well, who do you think's the mastermind? And the prosecutor said, absolutely Anne Anastasi. Clearly, obviously, she's the mom. She maintains her innocence.
How?
This is all lies. I want to go to trial. How dare you? Oh, yeah, I'm going to trial. They're accusing me of some bullshit. Yes, I know there's text messages with me clearly saying what I'm doing, how it happened and everything like that, but I'm still fighting it. It's not, I didn't do it.
Gunpowder residue on me and a dead man with a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
Babe, you've got bigger balls than a man who steals money and hides a woman in the basement that he fucks all the time.
Picture this dead girl in the basement, residue all over your clothes. It wasn't me. That's what she's got. She's a fucking Shaggy song now.
Yeah.
It's that ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Too much.
So they said, they talked to her again, and they said, Miss Anastasi, presented with all the facts and evidence against her, still completely denied her involvement in the case.
That's a woman that says, really?
Yeah, really? Wow. Wow, really? She pins the entire incident on Gabriel Struss and calls him a delusional, drug-addicted person who comes from a bad background.
Okay. That's a
Wow.
It's a fascinating stance, dear.
Type of person you could get to kill your fucking enemies and with just the promise of living there afterwards. Wow. They said so. She says that basically Gabriel's a liar, is what they said. So this is obviously pretty fucking stupid here. They said there had been an orchestrated plan in place to have Mr. Struss come over to the Anastasi home the night of the incident and commit the murder of Miss Riggs. Both 13 and Gabriel accepted responsibility for their involvement and did not. Anne Anastasi maintained that she was the victim throughout this whole incident.
Incredible.
Yep. She painted a picture of a very abusive relationship between her and her husband. But yeah, so she came back. Anne, as well as her teenage daughter, 13, came back positive for GSR residue.
Really? Both
so it must be in the handling. It's got to be.
Yeah.
They were, or they could have been in close proximity. They said they were somewhere in close proximity when he was shot. So what did they all go and huddle around him while he was sleeping and shoot him in the head together?
That is brave, man.
That is insanity.
How do you get 3 people in the room with a sleeping man and expect him to stay asleep?
Painkillers?
Maybe.
Back pills?
Oh, man, that's a great thought. He's got to be on something, right?
He's got to be on something. 2 surgeries and back pain and being a biker.
Yeah,
he's on something.
The only way I'm missing that there are people in the room is if I have substance in me. If I'm sober and fall asleep, you open my door and I'm awake.
I'm popping up. What's happening?
Who the fuck
what's going
is it?
on?
What do you want?
Yeah, what's going on? I got my machete in my hand. Hey, what's happening? So, this is wild. So then 10 days after the murders, they start talking about charging all 3 of them with first-degree murder.
Wow.
Okay. The arrests come up here, and they said we have 2 people dead, we have 3 in jail, and we have 4 children who lost both parents and a sibling. All because of lust and sex and love and hatred, said the county police spokeswoman. That's what fueled this whole fire. Yeah, that's right. Lust and sex and love and hatred should be the name of this episode.
Yeah.
They said cases like this are very rare. This case could have very easily been construed as a murder-suicide, but with the due diligence of the first responding patrol officers and the detectives that investigated the case, we were able to determine that the evidence just did not add up. They did do a very good job here.
They did, yeah.
I will say, crime scene-wise and everything, they kept their shit together.
Yeah.
The game warden didn't come traipsing through the blood or anything. Nothing weird like that.
They went right to text and were like, Yahtzee, done deal, wrap it up.
Done deal. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Who's getting a promotion?
Now, want to hear some crazy stuff?
Oh, my God.
Want it to get worse for Anne?
How can it?
Okay. Between jail and her trial, she's in county jail awaiting trial here. They said, this is from the county spokesperson, a fairly incriminating phone call was made between her and someone on the outside that we happened to get our hands on. It was one of the random taped calls they do.
Oh, shit.
And there she was letting her true feelings show. This is what she said. Holy shit. Here's a couple of different statements from her that were her voice recorded on a phone call in jail.
Oh, God.
Quote, even though we all think that the world is a better place for him being gone and that her stupid fucking twit ass should have known something was going to happen, getting 12 jurors to see the same thing is a problem. She's a fucking 24-year-old whore who deserved what she got.
Oh, my.
That's not going to sound good when played in front of the jury.
So much for innocent, battered woman.
Wowie, wowie, wow. I mean, she could be an innocent, battered woman and still call her a 24-year-old whore, but that's the jury thing. It's not going to be good.
No.
Not with all the other stuff. If it's just that in a vacuum and not all the other evidence, fine. But when you got everything else involved, you're fucked.
What she deserved.
Yeah. So then she says, quote, its problem is it's not only him. There's a 24-year-old girl who's dead in my basement. She was a whore who moved into my house with me and my 5 kids. Her whore ass should have stayed up in fucking Michigan.
Oh, boy.
She's calling her whore like I call the daughter 13. This is, it's just her nickname. Oh, my God. Her whore ass should have stayed up in fucking Michigan. She shouldn't have moved down here. She shouldn't have moved into my house. How could she possibly have thought this was going to go well? That's the first thing I'll agree with that she says.
Yes.
How could she have thought it was going to go well? Probably not this badly.
Yeah. But how did you get convinced by your husband that this was going to go well? This is your house,
Yes.
not her house. You're not staying in her house. She's in your house.
But
How
why
did
would she
you
come?
think this was going to go okay?
42 stab wounds, the number of years, and
Yeah.
is
No
old.
doubt. Yeah. That's crazy.
And she definitely brings up the age because everything she's 24-year-old.
Yeah.
She's called her 24-year-old and 24-year-old whore on multiple occasions.
Yep.
Her whore ass shouldn't have moved down there. Blah blah blah. It's wild. So these are very incriminating.
Super. Yeah.
They don't look good. And it just makes, not only are they incriminating as far as evidence goes, but it's also just makes her look like a terrible person who you want to
Callous,
fucking
Right.
callous. You want to stick in jail for a long time. So the county prosecutor said it was certainly something that once we heard made our case significantly stronger.
It's very easy now. Yeah.
She's still saying, I'm going to trial.
Unbelievable.
You can't fucking keep me down. Anne's lawyers are given the calls.
Yeah.
Because there's disclosure here. And they fucking beg her to take a, please
Yeah,
take a fucking, anything they offer you.
Don't make me take a loss on this,
Yeah.
please. This is going to fuck my career.
Short of the electric chair, take whatever they're offering
Yeah.
because you're fucked. This
Yeah.
is as fucked as it gets here. So in court, she is going to plead guilty. Well, not plead guilty, actually. She's going to enter Alford pleas. This fucking lady will not admit it. She won't admit it. Alford, yeah, if you don't know, it comes up a lot, but Alford pleas are a plea where you maintain your innocence but admit that there's enough evidence that would probably result in your conviction, so you're pleading this. Right. So it's a way to plead guilty without saying you're guilty, even though it's not great. So she maintains her innocence, says she wasn't there. So during sentencing for this, when now she's not innocent anymore,
Right. Yeah.
prosecuting attorney said, quote, Ann Anastasi destroyed multiple lives by coldly planning these murders and manipulating children into executing her vicious plan.
Yep.
Were it not for Mrs. Anastasi at the helm of this scheme, the victims would still be alive today. Ann's defense argued that her life had been full of abuse, both as a child and by her husband. Okay, we get it. He threatened. This is for mitigating purposes. Yeah. This isn't for guilt or innocence.
This is just mercy.
He threatened his wife and others in the family, saying he had connections to a notorious Michigan biker gang that had people that would kill these people. And come on, come on,
give me a hand.
That's come on. That's weird of defense attorneys. Come on. So. Her attorney pointed out other instances, but there was never proof that came out of anything that she accused him of, basically. Right. So that was tough. So the judge said, you, ma'am, may fuck off. Okay. This is 2 life sentences.
Okay.
But he suspends all but 40 years in relation to Anthony's death, all but 60 years.
Oh.
So 40 and 60 for Jacqueline's murder. She receives an additional 5-year sentence on the gun charge, but they're all to be run concurrently. So
she's going to get 60.
60 is what she gets. 60. Now, they asked the state's attorney, are you happy with this? And they said, quote, I do not expect that she'll ever step foot out of prison. She represents a different type of evil because while Gabriel Struss wielded the weapon, he was very much a puppet of Mrs. Anastasi. And to me, that is more sinister than just literally pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting children involving
Right.
your daughter. You want your daughter to have that hanging over her head for the rest of her fucking life, 13 years old.
And a boy who's already got so many problems, and you basically dangled a carrot in front. You basically open mic'd that kid and never let him host.
Yeah.
You gave him an opportunity for a better life.
He did 5 bringer shows, and you never
And you
gave
robbed
him
the
a paid
kid.
shot.
Poor bastard.
It's crazy because and what she's doing too is inviting him in, saying, "Yeah, you can fuck my 13-year-old daughter. You can live with me. You can do all this shit." Like, it's so weird. So now Gabriel goes to court.
Yeah,
he pleads as well. Obviously, he admitted the whole thing.
Yeah,
he
what's
pleads.
he gonna do?
Yeah. He's described as weak-minded by his own defense and by the prosecution and the state. Everyone agrees that he's a bit not the smartest guy in the world. Very manipulatable.
Yeah.
And the court had heard that he'd been manipulated to commit the acts despite having no criminal record. So he hasn't been a menace like that. He's been trying. It's not like he's out sticking people up in the streets or anything. He's not Bodie. He's just fucking...
That makes it so much worse.
Yeah, he's been trying.
The kid's been trying his ass off with nothing in his toolbox, and you give him an opportunity and you ruin his life.
They said he lived on the streets till he was 7 with his crackhead mother, and that he'd been treated for depression and everything else recently. But the judge was harsh, too.
Yeah.
The judge, taking the realities, the crime scene pictures were horrible.
Yeah.
So he says, quote, "The case was just horrific. To callously, willfully slaughter 2 people, I don't know how you get to that point," is what the judge said. Gabriel spoke briefly. He apologized to both families, and he said, if I could take back what I did, I would. Jacqueline's dad, he's got his turn to speak here. Yeah. He said it's now been 498 days since Jackie was murdered.
Oh, God.
Each and every day, it doesn't get any better. It only gets harder. And they say, you, young man, may fuck off. Exact same deal as Ann.
60 years.
2 life sentences, 40, 60, and 5, and fucking 60 years, all but 60 suspended.
Years. 78 is when he's projected. I mean, that's his fuck. If he serves every day of it,
if he does every day of that shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the parole, guidelines are for that sort of thing. But now, what about 13?
Oh, Jesus Christ! What do you do?
13 is put, because she's only 13.
Right.
She is put in a juvenile facility. Right. And she will be eligible for release when she is 21, which is right fucking now.
Oh, my God.
Right now, 2023. She is 21 years old. And
probably out now?
Now, this year, soon.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, just getting on out.
And, my God.
I don't know what she picked up or anywhere like that. Now, do you see why I didn't want to give her name?
Yeah, I don't want that
because
girl out there.
I don't. Number one, I don't want her out there, but I don't want to say her name and say I don't want her out there. And number two, let's say she went to jail and was like, "Oh my God, my family, this is horrible." Yeah, I feel horrible. She cries herself to sleep every night. My mother's a monster. She made me do this. What the fuck kind of a person did she make me? And now she just wants to get out and go to college and be a normal person. And we're going to say her fucking name, and people are going to be like, "Oh, it's." I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
I want to hope that that's what's going to happen, though. You know what I mean? But
I hope so.
Somebody that participated in a double murder like that, and your boyfriend did what he did to that woman. Oh my God! How's she gonna?
You were in close proximity.
Yeah, of a gunshot
to the shooting.
That murdered
of your dad.
Father. Yeah,
your father. Which is
golly.
That's wild. But the other children went to live with Anthony's family, his mom and dad. They lived right close by. So
they're near the house.
But they don't have to go. They don't have to switch schools or anything like that. So that's at least some sort of.
So everybody at school knows.
Yeah, well, they'll know.
Oh my!
No matter,
God.
Unless you move to the other side of the country,
you move to
everyone's
Alaska.
going to know. Yeah, they're going to know. But at least there's some form of continuation for these kids, rather than just kids. Mom's in prison, dad's dead. Let's pull you out of school. We're going to put you over here. Like, wow, that's a lot of strife. So. Apparently,
good Lord,
they were doing well at last check on them, but who knows by now. Now, Gabriel, while he's in prison, he does an interview, actually, or he writes a letter to Crime Watch Daily he talks to, and he says he'll always regret what he did, and he sent a note to them from prison writing, quote, "I thought what I was doing would make me a hero, when in reality it only made me a monster. So many people were hurt because of my actions. I hope the victim's family can one day forgive me and understand how sorry I am."
He thought he was saving the lives of 6 other people. Yeah.
That's what he said the whole time. He thought he was a superhero. He thought, I'll come in and protect you. That was his thing. They need me to protect them.
Jesus.
She's being abused. This poor little girl who is my girlfriend somehow.
This poor little girl that I'm abusing.
Yeah. Someone like that, too. Obviously, his mental age probably wasn't 18 if he came up with. Still, your body is 18. Right. You can't go out with a 13-year-old. So now Anne is at the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women in Jessup here.
Yeah.
Like I said, 13 will be released at 21, and then we'll call her 21 after that. The state said, the investigators, one of them said, quote, "We hope that she can be reformed and returned to society as a productive member. However, her ability to manipulate, it's chilling for us as investigators."
Agreed.
At 13,
Yeah.
to be able to do that, that is very, very scary. They said, the detective said they're still haunted by both Anne and 13's behaviors in the hours following the murders.
Yeah.
They said, quote, "Anne was capable of going along with her life with 2 dead bodies in the house for almost 12 hours. Wow. They just went about their business like nothing was wrong. They said, quote, "That's not normal. That's not typical behavior."
Yeah, and with the way that one of those dead bodies is sitting, I mean, your husband's with a bullet in his head, one thing, but the other one is
it's almost like a calm thing. The
mess.
the other one, it's a horror movie downstairs. Yeah. It's an absolute fucking Friday the 13th action.
And she's but then again, she calls her a 24-year-old whore. So
she has she never even used her name. Just a 24-year-old whore. That whore. Yeah. So she's just a whore. It's all, this is her age. She's young and fucks my husband. That's all. Those are the 2 factors she cares about.
That's it.
That's why I think even though I think that he killed her, I think Gabriel did the stabbing. Yeah. 42 is just a very fortuitous number to land on because it's a
fascinating number.
It's exactly right there. So they go on to say that would have taken an extreme amount of self-discipline, an extreme amount of calm that many normal people who feel remorse and guilt would not have been able to do.
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, normal people can't fucking do that. Normal people just can't be like, husband's dead, bloodbath downstairs. I'm going to take a shower, do my makeup, eat breakfast. Anyone? Yeah, who's up for Lucky Charms? Like, no, this is fucking ridiculous. So that's where they sit. He's still in prison till God knows when. She's still in prison till God knows when. And little 13 could be next to you in line at Starbucks.
Watch out.
We don't know.
If they say, "What's your name?" and she says 13, leave.
Be scared.
Get try somewhere else.
Maybe not. Maybe she's fine and completely. She's had no contact with the media or anything like that. So we have no idea if she's like 10 times harder or if she's like, oh my God, crying her eyes out. We have no fucking clue. And I hope I hope 13 is young enough.
Yeah.
To where you can, at least maybe malleable enough still to where you can program that mind to think that what that happened was awful and not to do that again. I would hope.
I think the Menendez brothers were young enough for it to not affect them forever. I don't think they were going to go murder people.
Fuck, they were. No. That's the fucked up part too. Did you see that with the Menendez brothers off the
you told
subject?
Me this,
Yeah, the Menendez brothers, one of the Menudo members, the band Menudo, came out and said that their father, Menendez Sr., abused him sexually for years.
Right.
So this is the fact that I believe that what they said, the reason why they killed their parents is the reason why they killed their parents.
Right.
But the way they did it was not the way you can do that.
You can't do that. Right. That's not how you solve that issue. That issue is solved with unfortunately, that's a police involvement scenario.
Exactly.
You can't just do street justice and
you can't. Well, especially the way they set it up, and then act like you don't know what happened, and then go fucking start buying shit. Like
and
that's
they
not.
Shotgunned them, right?
They shot with shotguns. Yeah,
Jesus
their mother too.
Christ,
so
you're right.
At that point, you start. If it's just Dad and it was out in the garage and it was like, Dad tried to put my dick in his mouth for the last time and I couldn't take it. Whatever. Yeah, for the last time, I couldn't take it anymore, and. All that guy is taking his mouth. And, I shot him. That would be like, you'd go, oh, okay. But to butcher them and then go, we don't know a thing about it. I don't know. It must have been the blacks from down the hill, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Like, play the Knicks tonight. We got to go.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
And then they went to, must have been his mafia friends. The mafia came in and shot my mom and killed him.
Starks is in town. So, I got to go.
I got to go. So that's ridiculous. But either way, this, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know that Anne definitely belongs in prison either way.
Yeah.
Because
you can't do that.
If she did all this herself, if she went down, stabbed her up, went up, shot her husband, and said he abused me, he told me he's going to fuck this woman in my house, and I can't do a fucking thing about it. He's going to keep my kids. He threatened to kill me, and I lost it and snapped. I'd go, damn, oof, that's rough.
Or
the fact that
on the other side of the coin, if she kicked that door open when it was locked, marched down those stairs and shot them both mid-coitus, and then called the police.
Crime of passion.
Oh my God, that'd be on fucking court TV, and we'd watch the shit out of that trial.
Completely different story at that point.
Right.
But the fact that you manipulated not only an 18-year-old, but your own 13-year-old daughter and ruined her psyche forever.
Yeah.
You deserve prison just for that.
Absolutely.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that level of child abuse, you deserve prison. And that's crazy. So
it's nuts.
That is Lothian, Maryland. There it is, everybody. If you enjoyed that show, you got to do us a favor and tell the world about it. It helps.
Yeah,
it helps. Not only should you tell your friends and, post it on social media or whatever you want, but head over to whatever app you're listening on. Doesn't matter which one it is, because I think all of them you can do this. Leave a review. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It helps so much. You have no idea how much those reviews make you more visible to people.
Right.
So thank you for everyone that's done that. And if you want to help the show for free, that's a great way to do it. You can do that. Thank you. Definitely want to follow us on social media. Mm-hmm. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. And get on into there. Yeah. Come see us there, where you'll get lots of information, including stuff about live shows, which you can get tickets for at shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
New merchandise up all the time. And also, even if you have some merch that you like, there's new products on there all the time that stuff is on that you can get. So check on there periodically, do that, and also get your tickets for the live shows. We are, if you're listening to this on early release before May 5th and 6th. We are in Detroit and Pittsburgh those days. If not, goddamn, what a great time we had in Detroit and Pittsburgh.
That was amazing.
Raucous, baby. Raucous. Thank you for rocking the house, guys. But our next few shows up until August are pretty much sold out. Salt Lake City, we moved it to a bigger venue because it sold out in 8 hours. So we were like, I think maybe we need a bigger venue. So we underestimated Salt Lake City's demand. So there'll be some tickets left. But everything else, San Diego's in there, a few Denver, they're all sold out. Yeah. Atlanta's later. Atlanta's in November. Until August.
I thought you were saying what's not sold out.
Oh, no. Up until August. Now, that's in November. I think there's still tickets for that, or September or something. But August 12th is Chicago.
Yes.
So that will be the tickets to buy next. And, man, come out to that. It's a really nice, really awesome venue. Yeah. Right. It's a big venue. It will be our biggest fucking show ever. And we're going to take... you guys come strong. We're going to take a lot of clips of it for stuff and use a lot of, so maybe you'll see your face on there. Come out and see us, goddammit.
It'd be great.
Do that. That is shutupandgivememurder.com. And also get your tickets for Atlanta, as Jimmie mentioned, Charlotte, Philly, D.C., Dallas is on there. Come on out and see us, man. We can't wait to see you guys. I think Minneapolis is sold out. Never mind. Can't go there. Can't go to Minneapolis unless you knock somebody over the head and take their tickets.
You can definitely
go there. It's a lovely city, especially in August. Lovely. It's a beautiful time of year to be there.
10,000 lakes, I've heard.
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Fucking pulling fish out with your bare hands. Head over. Hams, too, as we know from Minnesota.
Yeah, right.
Pull a ham out, just a honey glazed right out. No problem. I got a 12-pound honey glaze here. It's gorgeous. So get on in there. Come see us. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You definitely also want to head over to Patreon, because that is where the good stuff is. Patreon.com/crime in sports. People have asked how you spell that. Patreon. Patreon. Right. So head over there /crime in sports, and you can, anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get bonus shit tons of it. Tons of bonus shit. Right away, you're going to be hit with a huge...
Oh, boy.
Just a big bonus dick right in the face, boy. It's just, it's coming. Couple hundred episodes in there to catch up on for back catalog of bonus stuff. So right away, you're going to have a lot to catch up on. And then every other week, they're going to keep coming strong with 2 more. So we're going to keep doing that. You get 1 crime in sports, 1 small town murder every other week, and you get access to both of them no matter what.
Right.
Well, $5 gets you all of it. So this week, what you're going to get for crime in sports, and this is going to be funny, whether you care about sports or not, you're going to want to listen to this. 1979, the White Sox had a crazy owner. We'll talk about him. And he decided in between games of a doubleheader, this was a promotion with some rock radio station in Chicago that hated disco.
Yeah.
And, disco sucks and all that, to bring all your disco albums down and all your 8 tracks. And in between games of a doubleheader, we're going to put them all out in center field and blow them up. and say, yay, fuck disco.
Disco's dead and the White Sox marked it.
That's right. Instead, it turns into a huge fire and a riot, and
You telling me vinyl's flammable?
people chasing people around on fire and hitting them with billy clubs. It's bonkers 70s madness, sideburns and flared pants everywhere. It's crazy shit. And then for Small Town Murder, this is one of the wildest stories, too. It's a woman named Sherry Papini.
Yeah.
And she faked her own kidnapping. She's
did.
the blonde California woman who said she was kidnapped by two Hispanic women in a black SUV.
Driven
and turns
8 hours.
out none of that is true. Her story's crazy, and the way they break it down to her that they know she's full of shit is remarkable. And her husband's in the room when it happens. It's so fucking wild. Can't wait to tell you all about Sherry Papini. That's patreon.com/crime and sports. And in addition to that, that's not all you get.
No.
There's a book club thing in there where we tell you books to read. And more importantly, though, you are going to get a shout out. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's going to fuck your name up bad. And when do those shout outs happen, Jimmy?
Right now.
Right fucking now, Jimmy. I swear to God, let me know these shout outs like you're texting a murder plan to an 8th grader. Please, Jimmy, hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are Carol Braun. Thanks, Carol. It's good to hear from you again.
Thank
Vanera Boone, I think. Vanera. Vanera, I don't know. Pat Doherty and Emily.
Vanera bread?
Yeah, it is. Pat and Doherty and Emily would love to come to our Pittsburgh show, but they're getting married that day.
Congratulations.
So congratulations. Happy marriage. Hope it lasts forever. Casey Danielson also. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. We can't do this without you. You're fucking amazing. Other producers this week are Peyton Meadows, Tyler Frazier, Alex Jones, not that one, Thomas Smith, Janice Hill, Jonathan and Maureen Reed. That's in their memory, actually. Boudica Aoife Reed donated in their memory. Thank you guys for
sorry about that.
Listening at one point, I guess. What else? Tucker Snuts. I believe they mean Tucker's Nuts, but all right. Eric Guzzo, Micah with no last name, Jeannie Chase, Linda Guajardo, Elliot Thomas, Sizwe, Melinda Zizi.
Got that?
Sizwe Melinziza. All right. Jeff Henlon. Jeff Henlon, Paul Nichols, Lucas Wing or Wingy, Jessica Rapucci, Emma Coker, I think, Don Boyd, Charlie Reese, Casey Furman, Courtney Cottrell, Laura Restrepo. Go slow. Sound it out, Whisman. Lauren Richards, Amanda Doherty. Almost did it. Erica with no last name. Claire with no last name. Vanessa Glenn. Anna with no last name. Gareth Whelan. Angus Ferguson. Brett 82. Jared with no last name. Michelle Lozano.
Amanda is your black plastic trash bags. Yeah. It's so hard.
It took me a sec.
It's your trash stick flashbacks. It's yours.
Mikey Snaps, Quincy Smalls, Courtney Jones, Dave Benson, Heather Carmichael, Lynn with no last name, Clay with no last name. Did I say Michelle Lozano? I think so. Chauncey Mays, Melena McPuffy Pants, Indra Purins, Amina Harris, Trevor Richardson, Brandon Cook, Amy Bocheman, Corey West, Sharon Cook, Carolyn Saylor, Melinda Chowning, Brandon with no last name, Matressa Countess of Horrington? What? Oh, boy. Candace awesome. Johnson Mason, Kristen Marchek, Mandy Davis, Joe Martinez, CK with no last name, Casey Modert, Sydney Armco, Elizabeth Butler, David Testa, Todd Cravens, Ashley with no last name, D10, Abate Nate, Chantel with no last name.
You're a disaster.
Tanya Armstead, James Furbach, Denroy Dacent Jr., Ann Chambers, Jennifer Sharon, Tori Clark, Stryker Kirby Ford, Misty Armstrong, Scott Williamson, Olivia Jones, Lynn Bornasian, Jamie Jones, Kara with no last name, KRHO. Is that a name or Crow? It might be Crow. Who knows?
Hey.
Only they know.
Old call letters from a radio station in the 40s.
Austin Aaron Smith, Annie Bullis, Yvonne Duncan Farrell, Daniel Cheatham, Josh Nairn, Eleanor with no last name. Alvin Lee, or Lay maybe. Kate Moore. Shauna Ratliff. Kalia Nichols. Kalia. It's got to be Kalia, right? Rebecca Archer. Nice. Michelle. Michael Brown. Taylor Phelps. Brittany Katchermeyer. Okay. Kaylee Huseby. Denise Simmons. Simon.
Rough patch.
Susan with no last name. Sevitz 87. Jason Elias. Sully Quayle. James Geyser. Abigail Bryant. Kate Clark, Chris Hoare, Salty Mister, Danielle W, Lacey Davis, Missy Phillips, Chad Lucy, maybe Luce, Luce, Patrick Doherty, I already said that, I think. Okay, MKC, MKSE, I don't know. Caitlin Brown, Allie Porto, Caroline Thomas, Caroline Thomas, Christine Bach, Melissa Edwards, Anastasia Tikanenko, Kinsey Swain, Chelsea Braden, Boris Imilau, Mark Hardwick, Simon Lepori, Jew Wappa. That can't be a real name. Natalie Gill, probably. Jen Tomasello. Tanya Lavelle. Peaches Bleaches. Rachel Thomas.
Bleaches.
That's a fun one. Carrie Applegate. Sally Voling. Buddy and Abby Priest. Lynn Caldwell. Denise Love. Stephanie Mankey. Lauren DeChico. Joan M. Jenny Morell. Ryan Christensen. Nope, just Kristen. Ryan Kristen. And all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us all the time. Honestly, we couldn't do it, obviously, the show without you because you're listening, but everything. Thanks for what you do for us Patreon people, and just remarkable. We appreciate the fuck out of you guys. You want to follow us on social media personally, real easy to do that. shutupandgivememurder.com is the one-stop shop. Yes. Drop-down menu has links to it all. Follow us, come back with us, keep hanging with us, and until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.